What's up, everybody? I almost did it. Holy shit, dude. What's up? Welcome to Deliciously Nothing, episode 126 of the OG episodes. I'm Nick Weir, and with me I've got my co-host.
I'm Reverend Meffington.
And then I've got my guest hosts with me, Oliver McPeak and Henry Lynett.
How's it going?
Yeah, dude. They're both guys that have been doing stand-up in Nashville for a while. I like both of you guys. I think you're cool. I'm happy that you guys are here with us tonight.
I'm
honored to be here.
Yeah.
So I want to cheers to that first.
Hell yeah.
We're going to cheers to a few things.
Cheers.
What else do we need to
and roll.
cheers to, Rev?
Let's also cheers to the ham sandwich mandate.
The ham sandwich, man.
So we are starting a campaign to nuke Australia,
Yes, that is the campaign.
and we have called it we have called it the ham sandwich mandate.
Yes.
So what we're going to do, what we decided to do, we were going to go to Iran and have them build us like missiles and stuff like that.
Okay.
But Nick suggested that we just get food trucks and just load them up with bombs. So we're going to go and like find a bunch of like old ratchet Mexican food trucks. And then we're going to like find out, I guess, that guy at the downtown bombing that we had here in Nashville, figure out how he did that and just recreate that with all the food trucks. And so then we're going to send them to Australia. How we're going to send them, we haven't really figured that part out yet, but we're going to send them to Australia.
Is that like cheaper than just getting real like missiles?
Well, it's funnier.
Listen,
It is funny. No, I
It's
love
funnier.
It. It's inspired. I
You
think,
didn't, Rev. You didn't give the full context. So let me tell you how I'm thinking, dude. So, what I was saying is, you get like 2 or 3 of the best and the baddest motherfuckers you know. All right. Those people that I know would be like Kyler Finney. I'd maybe throw Jimmy in there. I love Jimmy.
Okay.
Right?
I don't see Jimmy wanting to, like, nuke Australia.
I think he could.
Nah, that's
I
far
think we
away.
could get him on board.
He's
dude.
like
I think I could convince him.
he's level-headed. He know how to like just go with it. You know.
He could at least be like the guy in the chair. Like
Yes.
before you guys are all in Australia, he's here with like a headset on and 10 monitors. He's like,
Right,
you're good to
yeah,
go. It's like car 1 is in place. Sitting on a stool behind the keyboard.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, and then my third person would be maybe Kelsey Dixon.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get me those 3, and we get food trucks.
How many food trucks total?
I mean, dude, we could run a fleet.
And it's
I don't
like,
know how many a fleet is, but
we have to
we'll
do it
find that out, dude.
We'd have to do it under like the guise of like a food truck festival, right? That's
Yes.
somehow
Like a
is
cultural
international.
outreach.
Like,
Yeah.
have it all over, like, Australia. I guess we don't have to worry about the middle so much. It's like all the livable space is outer, so just have like
What is-
the whole outer rim of Australia with food trucks, and then like blow them up all at the same time.
Sink
But see,
Australia.
like-
Australia.
I kind of like the idea of finding like a vulnerable part of Australia, like a Death Star kind of thing.
The whole thing.
we don't necessarily want to just kill everyone in Australia. It is
Not
that
to
we.
like the Aborigines or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Okay.
Yes, but we do want to kind of cause a Mad Max scenario to happen.
We
And
want to cause Mad Max.
yes, that's what we're trying to do.
They got more
I
than
am
enough
right
sand.
there.
I'm
I'm actively
It's
playing
past
the
due.
Joker right now.
If you're into Mad Max, it's past due. I think it's like the year 2010 or some bullshit. So like it hasn't happened yet. It needs to happen.
We're overdue.
We want to see that.
We want it. It has to. We have to destroy Australia.
To the ham sandwich mandate.
To the ham sandwich
Ham
mandate.
sandwich.
Oh, I don't know if we got the. Where's the name come from? I don't know if we got. Are they ham sandwich food trucks?
No. Possibly.
It's partially inspired by the movie Chef, Jon Favreau, where he had the food trucks. He had his food truck and he was selling Cuban sandwiches. There you go. Loosely influenced off of that. So thank you, Jon Favreau. Watching that movie made me want to nuke a country.
What a review.
What a review, dude. We're better than IMDb, man. Fuck that place. Who cares?
That's so crazy. That reminds me of like the guy who killed John Lennon read that book, Catcher in the Rye, and then he was like, I need to kill John Lennon.
I read it so much.
And now it's the same thing, but it's a chef in Australia. The entire country.
Yeah, step it up.
Scale.
Yeah.
He had a
Yeah,
DVD
dude.
copy in his pocket when he blew up Australia that day.
Yes. Well, okay, well, we can make it happen.
Sure. Yeah, it's past it.
I believe in us.
There's no shortage of empty food trucks. There's got to be from that peak, like 2016. There's got to be a whole bunch of empty ones
Dude,
somewhere.
we can find some
Yeah.
that are really cheap. Clean them up, right?
They just barely have to
Do
run.
we get them over there? Do we like remodel the Baltimore ship that crashed? We just buy that for a bargain and ship them over, or do we do like a Fast and Furious 8 where they're dropping out of a plane?
I think dropping out of a plane
parachutes.
would be like. Don't worry
Dude,
about
that would
parachutes.
be
Just
the
let
best
them
design.
drop. Fuck it. Yeah, we're basically one-way trip.
So this is what I think about the boat thing. If we drop them off all in one spot, it'll be suspicious. But if we like attack from all angles,
Yeah.
you know, like a bunch of boats or like a plane like dropping it off in a circle around the thing.
Like those Normandy boats where it's like pulls up on the beach and drops it, except it's just a food truck revving out.
A taco truck comes out. Like, what the hell is happening? People are like, oh, I want tacos right now.
Yeah,
Like, we
draw people in.
Taco
once you get the
invasion.
lines, once you get the lines in, just blow everybody up.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, maybe.
blow it up.
Okay, if we're trying to destroy the people of Australia, then we can like.
Not all of them. We want some of them like to survive, so we can have the Mad Max scenario. But we want missing limbs and eye patches and.
We got to get rid of the president, right?
Do they
Do
have
they
a
have a
president?
president? Yeah,
Prime
right.
Minister, maybe.
Do they still answer to the Queen? They,
Yeah,
well,
right.
the king now, I guess. All right, but
Do they? I don't think they do.
they might. I
Do
think
they
they're-
have a government?
They're, they just, are there humans or is it just the kangaroos? Hang on.
It's a god king.
I think the money at least still has Queen Elizabeth on it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's
Okay.
honorable. Long live the queen.
She's dead.
Well, she's dead.
She is dead.
Long live her memory.
Charles,
Long live the king.
right? That's,
Long live the
that's
king,
who's
yeah.
alive, right?
I don't know if he's going to be kicking it for
That's-
too much longer.
My
Yeah, he's
loyalty.
also very old.
It's gonna be
He's-
done because this
She was
last
very old.
generation
Yeah.
doesn't want anything to do with it. They're
Yeah.
all like defecting from the royal fucking sea. Like no one wants it. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for everybody to die.
Yeah.
Man, when do you guys think there's gonna be another king, man, or another queen, man? That
I think there's going to be a war king of Australia when we're done.
dude.
Some dude with someone else's
We're
skull as a helmet.
planning one, dude.
okay, yeah.
We're gonna-
planning.
Ooh, do we send someone
It's
in?
actually
we
going
pick
to
a
be
guy.
Kyler Finney.
Kyler Finney,
That
king
is
of
the one.
Australia.
Yes. He's the one that I'm going to send down there to do this.
Okay, he's the ringleader.
He is the leader
I
that
could
I
see him.
put. He's gonna be the one. Like in This Is the End. He's gonna have Channing Tatum on a chain,
Yeah.
basically. You know what I mean?
That'll be
I could
fun.
see him as
Like
like the
Dan
mascot of the
McBride.
food trucks.
Yeah.
I'm Killer Kyler here with Crazy Tacos. Like, welcome us to your country.
It's it's just so scary because it's so possible, you know.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's so much. I mean, there's like cities around the
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
We are talking about a potential terrorist attack. That is true.
We're gonna be on a watch
Allegedly.
list after that.
Allegedly.
Hypothetical. Yeah.
So
It's not a terrorist attack as much as it's a euthanasia. Like, right?
They're asking. They're asking for it.
We don't. all those fucking Australians, yeah, their bloodline
from prisoners.
originating from there.
Yeah, originating from a penal colony. And
It's all been an experiment this whole time.
There's like all these weird creatures. They just found a weird creature in a cave. They found a pool of weird creatures in a cage, and it has like 12 claws and teeth on the outside and all kinds of crazy shit. So like they're constantly producing like hellish things, and like we only don't see these hellish things because they're isolated by water. But what if like there's something happens and like they get pushed a little bit closer to us for some reason, and then like now we've got to deal with all this crazy shit. I say we stop it now, while they're far enough away where like they can't touch us, and then like just like
I say that if we do that, we also have to destroy Madagascar, because the same shit'll happen over there. It's just an isolated. It's an isolated
Not New
island.
Zealand,
They
you
have
mean,
lemurs and
Madagascar.
shit. It's the same.
Madagascar has
it's
things.
the same scary
Yeah,
feature.
they've got crazy shit there too,
Yeah.
but not as crazy and shit as like Australia. Like New Zealand, I can kind of like because it's mostly like sheep there in New Zealand, I think. But like Australia is like the kangaroos want to box you. Like you can't
they'll
go.
fight you, yeah.
It's like here we got bears and shit, and like you don't fuck with the bears, but then like the kangaroos, you're like, oh hey, what's up, dude? And like then it's he's like wrestling, he's got you in a fucking headlock.
Yeah. The scariest part about kangaroos is that they're on 2 feet and they're like as tall as you.
Yeah.
That is
Right.
pretty
6
fucking
foot.
weird.
Yeah, they're big.
Well, you guys seen the videos where they put boxing gloves on them and someone gets in the ring with them, and then it's seriously like
Oh yeah.
like rabbit punching him and shit, man. Yeah.
They follow through. Like they deliver, they
Yeah,
turn,
yeah,
like
they
they're
don't
leaning
fuck
on the
around.
tail. Like
Yeah, dude, they can box you, man.
Tall fucking
Some of those
rabbits,
dudes are
that's so
jacked.
wild.
Dude,
It's
oh,
a
yeah.
little
When
scary.
you see them, their upper bodies, it's like, oh shit, like that's
Yeah.
like.
Are kangaroos are marsupials, right? They have
Yeah,
a
the
pouch.
pouch.
They have the pouch.
So I think that is so fucking cool, man. I dig that shit so hard that there's like a whole. Well, I know like possums are marsupials too.
Yeah.
But like that's like a whole island of like fucking weird animals. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Koalas, man. That is
Wombats.
cool as shit. Wombats.
Wombats, they shit cubes.
What's going on over there?
Okay.
They have their shit is a cube. Wombats.
You're
Oh,
fucking
Not even
lying.
fucking with you. It is like
Wait, a
It's
wombat
like
has a
printing, it's-
wombat
cube?
poop is like cube shaped. Like it's like deer poop where it's like little bits, but it's like a whole bunch of little cubes.
But it's
That's
cubes.
tight.
That's
It's
so strange.
Crazy.
Huh.
Fuck, man.
Squarer than wombat shit. It's
We live
definitely-
Kind of like those
Weird-ass
little
world.
square gum. Have you seen that, like in the checkout line?
Yes, like the
Shit,
icebreakers,
dude.
ice cubes.
Yeah, the
They shit-
icebreaker
that's where they
ones,
get
yeah.
them. That's what those are. They
Yeah.
paint them white and they take them to the grocery store.
Ah, dude, they
Delicious.
taste pretty good. Taste pretty good. I like it.
It's all the eucalyptus in their diet, I bet.
It's honestly refreshing.
It's good
I had never
shit.
thought of it. I mean, the way you phrase it just now, like if you're thinking about it from like a historian's perspective, they were like in this ancient civilization, there was one island full of prisoners and dangerous creatures secluded from the rest of the world, and one day a group of heroes rose up and saved the world from this dangerous land and ended it forever. Like, oh shit, I'd watch that movie. Like
Yeah,
it's like
dude.
Lord of the Rings or something. That's dope.
With food trucks,
It's the ham
atomic
sandwich
bombs and
mandate.
food trucks. You know what I mean?
Nuking
Not
Australia.
exactly that.
It
But
sounds
something like it.
stupid, but it's actually like the smartest thing we can do. as a society.
At the end of it, we can just say thank you, John Favreau.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's
We
all.
do one of those petroglyphs in the desert with just his face visible from space. Like, this is
Shit.
Favreau land now.
I'm stealing a slice of pizza.
Oh,
Yes,
dude,
sir.
can you get me one too? Thanks, man.
So, man, we've not met you before on this show. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What got you into comedy?
Oh, so I moved to Nashville just shy of 2 years ago. My first year here, I was part of like this service organization. So I basically like worked for free at this nonprofit.
Sure.
And then it was like kind of like all consuming this program. So I can go to open mics like once, maybe twice a week, but like, it was never really enough to like get a feel for it, like get my foot in the door or anything. And then after that year ended, I just decided to stick around, got an apartment, got a job, and I just started going more and more. And it's something I've really been loving.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Rock and roll.
It's kind of weird because I moved here, so it was like me and like 6 other folks in this house, like living together, and then like they all left, and I was like, comedy's a gang now. Like, hell yeah.
I can't ditch this shit. This shit's fun.
Yeah, this is too much time. I'm enjoying this too much.
Our scene is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
we do have like regular events like every single night
Yeah.
of the week almost.
Yeah. There's enough to there's like a good like just general vibe about it. Like I feel like Jackson Hellenthal, like he came back, he was here, I mean y'all know him, and then like he moved to Denver and he was like, yeah, like it's not really like he's like, it feels like a family here. Back there it's kinda like everyone for yourself, like it's a bigger city, like you're competing for spots, but here it's like everyone knows you, like everyone's friendly, like they're saying what's up. It's a cool, I think like one of the cooler cities to do comedy.
It's
in.
very supportive here.
Yeah.
Like any scene, that there's the cliques, but for the most part, I mean, it's very supportive. You know, if you're wanting to get something off the ground, it's not going to be hard to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the best thing to do is just to meet as many people as possible, and there are so many different shows and so many different people that are running them. So I mean, just to be able to do so, or put on your own for that matter. You know, I mean, it's just who you know, pretty much.
Yeah, and folks seem like definitely like open to it. Like the number of you can do comedy like 6 nights a week if it's what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So like, there's just so much opportunity for it. And I feel like both like there's like a very like positive a pro comedy vibe just like in the city itself. So like they're doing like starting to do shows on Broadway and stuff. Like that's crazy. Like that's like such like the Nashville experience for like tourists and stuff. And it's like, oh no, like we have like our starting to do comedy down there in addition to like country music, which is like
That is
the
crazy.
big thing. Yeah, which is nuts.
I think having zanies is like a super big like support for the scene too. Like I mean, in itself, it is like a super awesome like comedy place, but like I think it's affected the scene a lot too. Having like a really cool place, it's like an extra little goal to like put up for yourself if you're like really trying for it. For me especially, like I mean I would love to do zanies, but like having that is like kind of giving me like the vibe of like something to chase.
Yeah.
I really like
That seems to be everyone's big goal as far as like a local comedian is to get zanies knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You go there and
Well,
like you see all the
It's easier now that they got the new material Mondays.
yeah, and
So-
the lab just opened.
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah,
they're gonna find their footing with that. That's gonna be something. I mean, it already is something really cool, but I think it's gonna be something really really cool really soon. I think.
Like
So.
I believe they are gonna be running like they might be running like an open mic soon.
Oh word.
I believe.
Oh my goodness. It's fucking
they might or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Because they have to fill that room with like dates and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like they can book like smaller headliners to do that room. You know, it seats 100, so it's a little smaller spot, but
a more
I mean,
like localized kind of show. I feel like just because it's maybe like so like definitely some out of towners, I'm sure, but like
and more folks running headliner shows too. That's another big one.
a smaller venue, but with the Zanies name on it, is really gonna be like good for like the idea of like more local comedians to start like it'll like give people who like don't usually go to like open mics a chance to be like, okay, you know, like if Zany's putting these guys up, you know,
Yeah.
we'll go see them. You know?
That's worth checking out. Yeah.
That is such a vibe. And like everybody, I mean, I'm sure there has been a Zany's bomb that I haven't seen, but it seems like every time somebody goes to Zany's, they like throw down, and it like becomes a good moment.
True. I had a fun zany set. I wouldn't say mine was like spectacular or anything, but it was a good time.
Yeah.
You know.
When people go to
go back.
Zanies, they're ready to have a good time.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
So you're
like-
gonna have a good. It's hard to have a bad audience. I've never seen a bad audience at Zanies.
Yeah.
True. When I saw Godfrey earlier this year, it was so good. I mean, his impressions amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Zanies is really cool because we as comics, you know, we get to go to so many of these shows and see these comics at this like the highest level, you know, is really helpful.
And it's definitely getting like more popular like nationally. Like I saw oh god, what was the stat? It was like since 2018, like tickets for like comedy shows, like sales are up like 230%, like nationwide. Like it's like becoming a very bigger thing, like trend wise. And like me and my girlfriend, we went to see Ari Shaffir like when he did the night at Zany's, but like the 7 p.m. on a Wednesday show, and it was sold out. Like you're selling out a club at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday, like people are there to see it.
It's their
like,
podcast that they're saying the name Zany's on there, and so people who are local wind up buying the tickets. The same. I mean, on Joe Rogan, you'll have comics that are on there, and they bring up Zany's in particular.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine since the last 5 years or so, like they probably have a good uptick just because of just the name drops.
Yeah.
I mean, they got their faces on the wall. So.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true, and they always Zany's always does that intro before their shows of or they have in the past, right, of the all the different comics like referencing Zany's or like their most recent time referencing Zany's on a podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen them? Do
I don't know if they did that
show?
before the show that I was at. Yeah.
I've seen them do it before some of their shows in the past, like maybe like earlier last year.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I only went there for the first time like 3 months ago.
Oh, really?
Like I had never actually been, and like I didn't even realize that. Like, see, like not knowing anything about the scene, like I didn't realize people went there to hang out. Like I just assumed it was closed until like 7 p.m. when they have shows or whatever. And they'd be like, yeah, it's like a comedy club. Like it's where people go to hang out. So I had never like been there prior to seeing a show there.
The first time I ever went to Zany's was like in like 2015 or something. It was like a long time ago. We saw John Lovitz there.
Oh wow.
Nice.
That was actually pretty. Like I definitely like wasn't like super like I'd listened to like a lot of comedy, but I feel like I'd had skipped over like a lot of like old school like kind of stuff like that, and he was pretty good. He's just like such a weird like guy, but he like knows comedy like.
He's quick.
Yeah, it's in his blood kind of thing. Yeah.
I saw Kevin Nealon there, and I was really skeptical. Like I didn't know how he would do with stand up. He was great.
He's
good.
It
was great. Yeah, I actually recorded that set.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's some renegade shit.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
How'd you do that?
So a friend of mine brought in his recorder, and I brought in my recorder, and I was like, well, fuck it, we'll just go ahead and record. You record, yours, kind of hidden, and I'll just kind of keep mine out here. Well, halfway through the show, one of the waitresses came over and like, hey, you need to, turn that off because she saw it or whatever. But he still had his going. So his wasn't as great as mine was, but I had the first half of the set perfect.
Whoa.
And I just cut it in with his and tried to level. But
false flag.
I totally dig that shit, man. Well, for comedic purposes, I'm kind of like, you could probably only listen to that so many times before you're like, yeah, I'll give that to a friend or something.
Do you know that I've never listened to it? I've never listened to it.
You just did it for the.
I just did it to see if I could do it. Well, see, I used to record all my shows as far as like going to the music venues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I never did it at a comedy club before.
Man, I was just telling you about this before, and like I may get some shit for this from some of my friends or something, but they usually all know. And I told you right before, I record like the concerts that I go to, and like I'm a fucking it's total nerd shit when you're like, I need to have this on recording, But it's like I've gotten some shit from like a manager of a show to be like, hey man, we're gonna cut your fucking wristband off if you do that. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, and then I like move over to the right and I keep on doing it, And like man, it's so fucking cool. Honestly, like I love that shit, and like it's kind of given me some experience with like recording equipment and stuff, and it's a goofy experience, but like in the end, like it has like good like turnaround. Like everybody's like messaging me for like a month after, being like, thank you for your recording that shit. Like, we needed that. Most of the time people are like fucked up during the show, so it's like good to have a solid.
Most people are appreciative. There's a dude that I know that would run sound. He would do like Musician's Corner and stuff like that, and he would do the sound for everybody and then break his laptop out and connect it to the soundboard. So he would have a soundboard recording of everything, not even bootleg, like soundboard recording. Yeah.
That's so legit.
the kind of shows that I do this at is like very like niche in particular. So like there's like archive groups like all over that are like specifically for like this guy and like his corner of music, and they're like they'll be like, hey, let me send you my Google Drive, I'll send you mine, and or like you'll send, you know, like trading shit, and like you'll see like deeper archives than others, and then like a lot of shit just like sounds bad, but like sometimes you'll find like a deep archive that has like soundboard recordings and like all this other shit that like they did a good job on it, and it's like that is clutch as fuck for like
So,
I know you mentioned this before. What's the name of that artist that you like?
It's Tipper. I'm wearing his
Tipper. Okay, yeah, the logo I recognized. Okay.
This is a tenorless. He just did like visuals for him, but this is the motherfucking homie. He's like,
okay.
Word. He's just like
Nice.
It says it.
Oh, look at that.
I
Yeah,
see it.
yeah.
That's
Nice.
cool,
What
dude.
embroidered? Yeah, look at
A
that.
little weird, but it's cool
Dude,
stuff.
no, this is such a goofy ass like piece
It
of
looks
merch.
like it's comfy.
It's all organic. You know, it's
Ooh.
super cool. It's kind of like some people may complain that it's a bit scratchy, but I haven't had that with me. But like,
So was it wool or what?
I don't fucking here. Like, if you want to feel it, it's pretty weird, but I like it. It's like kind of light, so it's not super
Okay.
hot.
It's light, but it's like sturdy.
This
Yeah,
guy
I like that.
has never released merch before until like this show that I went to. Like, it has the fucking date on it.
Oh,
And,
shit.
Like,
Oh, that's cool,
That's
dude.
tight.
Yeah,
That's real
yeah,
tight.
That's like first ever limited edition.
This is so
Yeah.
fucking cool, and like he's
Nice.
never released merch. It's kind of like Grateful Dead, how like anybody can make merch and you know whatever, they just go off that vibe. But like he finally is like retiring. He's kind of like getting out of the game, and he was like, I'll put out some merch for this show, and maybe like I'm guessing he's gonna do it for some of his future shows until he retires next year. But he was like, we're gonna put out our own merch, and it's gonna be special, you know, catch it while you can. And like it's the first thing that they did, and a lot of people are like shitting on it. They're like, or maybe not a lot of people, but like some people on the Facebook group page are like, why didn't they have like extra stuff for it? And then it's like somebody in the comments is like, guys, like he made it. Like he made like the designs and shit, and like it's just so funny because it's like the artist himself made it, and all these people are like, why doesn't it look flashier? It looks awesome.
It's like, now he had his
Well,
hands
it's
on your
great
hoodie,
the way
dog.
that it is. Like,
yeah.
this is the only merch this guy has.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just fucking like it.
This is
You know?
super fucking tight too. Fucking Tipper, shout out. I will stop taking over this podcast with that.
No, but you know that does remind me. Like, I remember in like 2019 when they announced that like the Preds were gonna play in the Winter Classic, right? And that was like it was January 1st, 2020. I remember seeing the uniform, the jerseys they're gonna wear for the Winter Classic, because they always do like custom thirds for those, and I didn't like the jersey at first, but like now I really love it. You know,
Yeah.
like it took a while for me to like love it.
It's got its
Yeah.
own like appreciation that you kind of have to learn to love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it like reminds you of that time.
Yeah,
Like, it was like,
yeah.
oh, like, they were on like a hot streak, like got this limited edition hoodie, like this is dope. Like
Yeah,
Back
dude,
in
it's
the
really
day.
sick, dude.
Yeah.
Like it's a cool fucking thing.
And it's like
Yeah.
a little bit of like nostalgia mixed in with just like finally being like, you know what, fuck it, this is actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
For what this is, like they went for like a cool thing.
That's always the worst when you see something, like you go to a concert or like you're somewhere and you see something, it's like, oh, like limited edition or whatever, and you're like, it's like, that's not that cool. And then like you see it like a year or two later and you're like, oh, that was pretty lit. Like, let me try to get one of those. That was tight. And then they're like reselling for like hundreds of dollars. And it's like, oh, damn it. Like this concert t-shirt or whatever.
Speaking of concert t-shirts like that, my fucking cousin was like at a show one time and he saw some dude wearing like a one-of-one like badass shirt, and he's like, he looked at his girlfriend, he's like, hey, go over there and ask him if I could buy that off. And like, you know, he's a baller. I love him, but like, I was like, that is the funniest shit I've ever seen. Like, buy the clothes off of somebody.
So did he get the shirt?
What a one, baby! You think they're gonna get rid of that shit?
101.
Dude, I like the sounds. I go to a decent number of sounds games actually, weirdly enough.
Nice.
And they do like giveaways sometimes at the games, and they did a couple weeks ago a Pat Summitt UT jersey.
Oh, that's sick.
And I was like,
dude.
all right, like I don't even know that much about UT basketball, but I was like, I know fucking Pat Summitt, and like that's a sick jersey. And then we got there too late, and then we didn't have any left. So I literally walked around the whole game and just I was like, hey man, I'll buy that jersey from you. And like I got shut down by like 3 dudes, and then some kid was wearing one. He was like swimming in it. And I was like, I'll give you $10 for that jersey. He was like, yeah. He like he just popped it off and gave it to me. I was like, let's go, dude.
Oh,
nice.
That is solid. That's an extreme score. I love the idea of like his parents being like, "Where's your shirt?"
Dude, it was like him and his little brother like went to get snow cones, and then the one came back with his top popped like fucking.
His shirt's gone.
Yes,
Yeah, I lost my shirt.
He's like, I sold it to a guy.
I sold it to a guy, and now we have a snow cone that we're sharing. You know?
Guess who got 3 extra snow cones?
Yeah. Mom, this is business. And I'm sitting on it. Yeah, like, fuck, man, that is sick as hell, honestly.
They do have like shockingly good stuff. They have pit vipers in a couple weeks. They're giving away like Nashville Sounds pit vipers.
Okay, whoa.
They've done like randoms, like they do. I'm trying to think of ones that have been like actually cool. And of course, no, I can't think of any. They did like lightsabers for Star Wars night, like randoms. I'm trying to think. There's like 3. Like there was like the Pat Summitt jersey, the Pit Vipers, and one. Oh, they're doing a like they're giving away like full blown jerseys,
Oh, hell yeah.
like a full blown like
That is
reversible, and then
So-
it's like the.
What is it, like a snake? They're giving it pit vipers like a snake?
Oh no, like the sunglasses.
Oh, okay.
Like those goofy ass
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
sunglasses, and it says like sounds, and like I guess they're.
That's a vibe.
They say Pit Viper. I don't know if they can just say that without like infringing on copyright because it's common enough, or if they're actually like
Maybe that's
Pit
the
Vipers
style
X
of it,
Nashville
yeah.
Sounds. But
be crazy.
I'll be
Who
getting there
knows,
early.
dude. They the games for all those different sports, you know, they always have like cool things for their season ticket holders, you know.
Yeah.
Like I can think of going through or just anyone that's buying tickets really, but I can think of going to like playoff games throughout the years here in town. You know, we'd have like you get like shirts and rally towels and stuff,
Yeah.
and then they have like the golden games and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I do
always cool.
love like early season Preds. Like one of the like I went to like the like 2nd or 3rd season game here, like my first time going, and I did like a lap on all 3 levels. I had like a lanyard, I had like a keychain, like all the stuff hanging off. I didn't have any merch yet, so I was like, I gotta
dude.
drip out and like whatever they're giving
you
out.
got the fucking koozie.
Oh, dude, yeah, I got a koozie, I got a towel, I got a lanyard, I got like a clip, like an ID badge holder that says the Preds, like all this random shit.
Showing up.
And the key is for those games. It's what I've always done at least. Me and my girlfriend will go and we'll like get like nosebleeds, like absolute top row, like touching the concrete, like absolutely on the top, like for like $30 those tickets are. And then like for the whole first period, we just watch, and we're like, all right, like where has nobody sat this whole game rinkside, or like within the first like 5 rows, and then I'm just like, all right, like section J looks like 1 through 5 are empty. And like we'll just go down there, and then if you get food, if you're holding food, they won't ask you for your ticket. So we'll just get like a beer and a hot dog, and then walk down and sit like literally ringside.
Oh my
It's
God.
never not worked.
Whoa.
Oh, that's funny.
What a fucking breakthrough.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
absolutely!
that's
It's a
crazy.
huge move. Yeah, so if you ever get the chance.
A huge move. Yeah. I can dig. That's crazy. I love like breaking the rules.
Yeah,
Breaking the law, breaking the law.
That's fun. Yeah.
I mean, hey, if no one's there, man,
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'll be louder than an
Dude,
empty seat.
dude.
Like,
Yeah.
I've heard that Bridgestone now sells like seats at the Preds games where you can just sit in any seat that you want, and if someone comes up and tells you like that's their seat, like get up, you just get up and you can move to another unoccupied
Yeah,
seat.
It's a general admission to the arena.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Basically,
Yeah.
is what it is.
Huh.
I
Some
love-
kind of roaming ticket. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay,
it, yeah.
that actually is pretty sick. I was just gonna say, like, I love going around, like, I haven't done it in a while, but like going to like a stadium concert and then like just walking around and like filling up an open seat that's just nobody sitting in. Like usually they don't question you about it or something. It's like That's definitely a vibe.
Yeah.
We used to sit in the box seats all the time, especially at Municipal Auditorium. Nobody gave a shit, and then like a waitress would come up and like take your order and shit if you want. Be like, all right, well, you
Act
know.
like you belong, you will belong.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, we tried to do that Pred sneak method. We saw Chappelle and Segura at Bridgestone over like 6 months. And like Chappelle, we were like, all right, like we got these seats. They're like kind of high up. They're like decent seats, but like if there's any empty down there, like we'll pop down. And then we got in. We're like, oh no, it is sold out. Like, there's no wiggle room at the Chappelle show. Like
That's so awesome.
So how is seeing a comedy show at the Bridgestone? Is that like?
So, Chappelle did like the center stage thing where we just like paced and like walked around. It was like 360
Okay.
degrees. Segura had it
Yeah,
set
like
up on
the
one
round.
end. Yeah, so we had like the round.
During the same show.
No. So this is like we saw Chappelle in like December,
Okay.
and then Segura like a couple weeks ago.
But Chappelle was in the round.
Yes, Chappelle was in the round, and then Segura had like one side of it set up as a stage. It was pretty good. Like they did a pretty good job. I think I mean the Chappelle's was done. I feel like a little bit better because they had the jumbotrons going the whole time, so it was like you could kind of I don't know if like that because I found myself looking at that. I was like, he's there. Like look at the actual dude. Like
He was in like Tom Segura was on like the far end though.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was like there, and then like you could like all like 80% of the arena was in front of the stage, but Chappelle like he was like the whole thing was up
That
for
is so
grabs, and
fucking
then just like
cool.
did laps the whole time.
Yeah, I could see how like for one thing being the 360 and then like having like that thing turned on. Like
Yeah.
I feel like they probably wouldn't turn it on for like one side of the room kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, you could probably sell more tickets doing it, just like putting your stage in the center, so you could have that whole.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
arena.
that's like an extra
That's-
like
That's how
20%
Nate
of the
did it.
arena. Yeah. Oh yeah, Bargatze did the whole
Bargatze,
thing.
when,
Yeah.
When I saw him with Brandon, and we were, like, Brandon bought the tickets for us. Thank you, I love you, dude. But fucking, it was, we were like, I think 8 or 10 rows from the round.
Oh damn.
Like, and Nate did his, like, you know, in the center, like, under the fucking Fang Vision, you know?
Oh,
Under the
nice.
fucking Jumbotron.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's tight.
That is crazy.
Yeah, and it was Chappelle. He did the because that was his special that just came out on Netflix. The Dreamer, whatever the newest one is. But he did like he started out, but there were like lights on, and then all the lights went out, and then it was like doo doo, like the Netflix intro, and then it just played the intro to the special, and then he just like came out and like did it. Then like the special played the exact same
That's
way on Netflix. Like it was the
crazy.
intro, like the theme, and then just him walking out.
The Netflix intro is so wild. to
Oh
think
yeah, it's so
about.
it was like the lights all went off. We're like, oh, like what the fuck? Like are we watching Netflix right now? Like,
Do you have to do that? You think? Or
I don't
is that
know. I
just
mean, it was. I see. It's one of those things where it's like it was pretty cool. Like just in that I was not expecting it, and it was like kind of like a neat like transition to the show. But I was also like, they might have made him like
it's
Right.
hard.
as a term of the.
Or was it a
the
live
special.
broadcast?
No, so the special was like that tour that he did in DC. So it was like the same. It was like 70% of the same material that he did in the DC show, and then that became the special.
Right on.
No. He did like a lot of, again, like that's one of those things where it's like, I feel like in comedy, like I've gotten so used to being like, oh yeah, like it looks so natural, but like that's been rehearsed a million times, like, you know, like some like good stuff like that. But Chappelle, like the 3 or 4 biggest laughs that I feel like he did at Bridgestone, he didn't do in the special at all.
Really? Okay.
And then like he did this like whole like inspirational monologue at the end of the Bridgestone show about like, 'cause the special was called like The Dreamer, and then he was doing like, he was like, I dreamed like blah 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 blah. He's like, and I believe that I am in all your dreams tonight. And then everybody went nuts, and I got like chills. I was like, oh my god. But like I was waiting for that in the DC show, and he just like didn't do it. And then like 2 other jokes just like totally like skipped.
That's so weird. Editing thing, like when it comes to editing purposes, it's usually for like timing and stuff. But it's like that's so weird. It's cool that he was doing that. you know,
Yeah.
for one thing, even if it didn't like end up in the thing, like that's super
Yeah.
badass. But it's like maybe like was his special like the Nashville set or was it some other?
It was like I mean it was most of the it was like that
Like an
same
arena
tour
tour,
spot in
yeah.
DC, the stop in DC that became the special, but it was like most of the same material, like the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
themes basically. But then like again, like in my head I'm like, oh no, like that's like down to the minute, like he's got it. But when you're like at the level of like a Dave Chappelle. Obviously, you're
Yeah.
just like, I'm just gonna go out there and have fun with it. Like we're gonna see what I'm gonna talk about. Like I have a general idea of what I'm supposed to do, but
I
it
just
just blew my mind.
I wonder if there's certain jokes that like don't hit on certain stadiums. You know what I mean? Like it's like for some reason you like hit like a joke that is like not cool to like the entire stadium somewhere. You think that maybe like you just didn't land the joke or something, then they're like, we can't put this in. It's not a killer joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be times where people like clip out something here and there.
A lot of times that they film their set over several shows and then edited all the best ones into one show, wearing the same wardrobe. Just, for the most part, just, I guess, just doing a compilation of your shit.
Yeah.
Essentially. I mean, but with the editing, no one's going to know that it's a different show. Doing it at the same venue, wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
No one's going to know.
That was one of those that like was pointed out to me. That like that's done, and then like I was like been like low key on the lookout for it ever since. I'm like, can I see a difference? And there's one in one of Birbiglia's Netflix specials where like his hair is like for like 5 seconds, and then it cuts back, and he's just looking normal. I was like, oh, hang on,
That's so
there it is. But it was like
wild,
so obvious just for like a couple seconds. I was like, what the hell is going on with his hair?
Continuity error.
Yeah.
But it's like it's like that was the one where he had fucked up hair, but he also said the intro to the joke perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, all right, like.
Yeah, it's like we might as well take it. That's the good shot. Yeah. Oh man, that's editing for you guys. That's movie magic. Yeah.
So how much like videography editing stuff do you do?
I wish I did more kind of like editing stuff like that. I'm trying to enter the freelance like market like right now for the first time. Yeah, I did like a really cool shoot recently that like I just like happened.
You
to
were like
get.
downtown. I saw that. I think. Yeah.
That was pretty sick. I just like put out a thing that was like, hey, I'm looking to add some stuff to my portfolio, and like they were like, hey man, we can have you on. Do you want to do some like volunteer work or something? And I was like, yeah, I would really like to start off doing volunteer work and then like maybe get paid if I
I'd like to make it very clear the end game is
like,
to make money.
It's like,
but
I'm 26. I need to like have a job, So like,
You did need a job.
yeah.
Dog.
So like, I had a job recently, and it was a temp job. So I'm like starting a new career right now, and like shit, I did that thing, and they ended up like agreeing to pay me some for it, and like on top of like getting paid, it was like a really fucking fun experience. So like, for the first time I've ever done something in professional like film work, it was pretty fucking cool. I'm trying to land some more shit right now though, but
nice.
that's I studied video production for a long time, so I know editing, but like haven't really had any professional work yet.
Okay, word. What was the shoot you were doing? Was it like a commercial or like?
It was a short film about like I guess some like a family of cops and like 9/11 and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of funny. There's like
So a family of cops, and it's during 9/11. Were they in 9/11?
So the dad was in 9/11 and like
plotted or died?
So like he was like maybe it was 9/11, maybe it's some other thing, but it seemed like everybody was on the page that it was 9/11 and like
it was heavily implied.
it just like it didn't seem like planes were hitting the building. You know what I mean? It seemed like a fire. Like this guy was like having like smoke inhalation from a fire, and then like some people were carrying him out of a building, and then like they brought him onto an ambulance, and then the person who was like putting like the breather on him was his daughter. So it was it was an interesting thing, but like
that was very emotional.
Yeah,
sir.
very emotional. So like I'm not like, like I got a joke about the Blue Lives Matter flag being rainbow. I don't know like where I totally stand with the service, but I could tell there's a shit ton of passion in that show or in that like story, and I was like, getting a huge buzz from it. Those guys were really cool. I like working with them.
Nice.
All right.
I don't know if I love cops, but god damn it, if that family wasn't adorable. Like, it's like, fuck, that was wholesome.
I don't fucking know, man.
I think you can just chalk it up and say that, some cops are okay.
Some cops are
some
fucking
are all right,
cool.
dude.
I'll give that. And I won't say anything else about any of the other kinds of cops.
I get annoyed with them, but we don't need to talk about it.
I've run into some asshole
get on the show
cops,
right now.
but I've also run into some really cool cops. Like back when I was in high school, it was
grab
always
pizza.
these same two guys that were busting us all the time. We were always like at a fucking park or behind a Kmart or somewhere fucking drinking, smoking pot. And we'd always get fucking pulled up on, and it was always the same two motherfuckers, a white dude and a black dude. And always they'd take our weed, they'd make us dump out our fucking shit. They never ran us in, they never, they just told us to fuck off. And it was just like, they were there doing their job, but they also weren't like putting us on record,
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and it was like weird because like we would walk into like a Kroger and we'd see them like working undercover at a Kroger for like security or something. They're off to, and we'd be like, oh.
Oh man, yeah. I've gotten my weed taken away a lot of times.
Well,
I've never been arrested. So.
See, that's better though. I mean, I would rather give up my weed and be like, all right, you got me.
Fair's
Yeah,
fair.
and then instead of like having that on your fucking record, because like that shit stays with you, man.
Yeah,
That shit's
yeah.
like herpes.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's tough. That shit's crazy.
Well, they did reschedule pot now to Schedule 3, so I'm not exactly sure what will happen now if you get busted with it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like if you, I guess, don't have like if you like have prescriptions but it's not in your name or something? I mean, I don't know.
You need enough to for intent to sell or whatever.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, it's like I guess they would have to rewrite the laws maybe now about penalties and like is it just now a slap on the wrist or and then like with all these stores that we have here now that sell THCA, I mean how do they know the difference? I mean
I feel like there's no way to tell. I mean so Perfect Plant sponsors the Backyard Show, so they give us stuff all the time. So it's like but in my opinion and experience, like indiscernible from the actual weed that I just bought growing up and stuff. So it's like, how can they tell? Like, are they even stopping people? Like, can you just not smoke it in public? Like, where's the line?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Rob Wentz has that excellent joke about it too. That he's just like, hey guy, he's like, I'm from Washington, and I'm still trying to figure out if weed is legal here, and you guys aren't giving me the right fucking answer.
So he did that here. And
you say Delta 9, THCA, THCP.
I just want real weed.
What is real weed, dude? I'd rather just smoke meth. Fuck you guys. In Rob's very upbeat Tipo energy, I just can't match it. I can never match that energy.
Oh yeah.
You know how he gets fired up sometimes.
Oh, he gets going.
Dude, if I have to follow, I hate having to follow him at open mics.
Yeah.
I hate it. Anyway. He's so high energy and I'm not that. So I have to go up there and act like, I just have to kind of try to match his energy for a little bit before I can.
What you ought to do is do a couple of bumps of blow before your set.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. 15, 20 minutes, you're on fire. Right?
You think Rob's just doing that naturally? No, he's losing. Yeah.
I think maybe I'm going to start doing sit-ups outside of Third Coast.
I bet smelling salts would be good. They should have those at a little cup side stage right as you walk up.
What does it do to smell smelling salts when you're awake? Does that mess you up?
Have you ever used them?
No,
I've not.
They're very, so it's I don't know why, it was a weird phenomenon, a bunch of my friends start, but you can get them on Amazon, it's not illegal, this is very much a legal thing, but it's it just smells like chemicals. It smells like if you just got finished wiping down your kitchen or whatever. It smells kind of ammonia-ish.
It smells awful.
So it's awful. But then I guess the science is it triggers your inhalation reflex, the same thing as after you're drowning, the reflex to just get air in. But then when you inhale that, it just it's a vicious cycle where it just makes you breathe really really deep until you pull it away, and then you're Just kind of like, again, then it's like 10 seconds. You're like, you feel a little more aware. Like you just get a lot of oxygen is basically the premise. But
Rogan has this shit on his show where he's got this jar or something, and he'll like hand it to somebody for them to sniff. It's some kind of smelling salt, but it's supposed to be like insane. Like,
yeah.
But I've never had that experience as far as like a smelling salt or like I've had like different like chemical drugs like Rush or something like that. You know.
That's wild.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, as far as like any other inhalants, so I mean, no, especially not something innocuous like that.
Yeah, I just remember it was in like one of the NFL Blitz games. If like a player got knocked out, you could like either choose to like bench them or like revive them with a smelling salt. Like those were the two options when I first saw them. Yeah, like the jar is like super concentrated, and then you can get. I have a fucking shitload of them. I'll bring up sometime. But like these little like white things, and it's like fabric wrapped around a glass tube.
Oh, that you pop open like a popper.
You just shatter the glass tube, but then there's like the fabric, so the glass doesn't get through, and then you just, it gets wet and turns red, and then you like that's how you know it's ready to go.
Freaky. Whoa.
It is weird. Yeah, it's like the first time using it, like this is sketchy as fuck, but then you're like, oh, I'm just like huffing ammonia. It's basically the gist. Like it's
all you're doing. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'd rather just take supplements, dog.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely like I'd rather just like have take pre-workout or something. Like I don't need to be huffing Windex to get fired up.
I will continue to drink coffee and eat protein bars. You know?
Yeah, power move.
I'll do that, dog. That is an easy thing.
Question
to do.
for you: do you ever put? I used to, so not protein powder exactly, but PB2. I used to put that in my coffee. You ever done anything like that?
PB2.
What is PB2?
It's like a powdered,
together,
like dried out peanut butter.
Okay.
And it's like I used to put it. I was never a big coffee guy, but I had like late classes in college, so like I started drinking coffee and I
So
would
it's
like
concentrated peanut butter.
It's like powder. It's like
Powdered
protein
peanut
powder
butter.
consistency, but it's just
Okay.
peanut butter. Like, you can like mix it with water or something and like just make peanut butter technically.
So it's like a peanut butter coffee thing?
Kind of, but I would just like put something in there and stir it. So that's like the weirdest coffee thing I've ever done. I always want to know people's weird coffee
That's-
things.
Yeah,
Just
that
in
is
case.
out there, but that's super
I
cool.
think I've done like a protein powder with like coffee and ice, like done like an iced coffee, you know, in my like protein.
You guys
I
are
can't do
reminding me. I
like the
usually just-
protein bars because like I'll get high and like eat like all of them. Like,
Too good.
Yeah.
This needs to be like a
Protein
little
bars
shitty.
are great, dude.
especially
I
get the
just
ones
try to
with
eat a couple
chocolate in
every
them
day.
and something like that. You know, it's just like you eat one like as a meal supplement, but like you're high and you're like, I could really use another. Then next thing you know, I've eaten the whole fucking box. Like fuck it.
Dude.
Good for a while.
Cookie dough. Like, it's good for me. Why wouldn't I?
Dark chocolate
Protein.
brownie. Oh.
Oh my god, the dark chocolate bunny. I'm a big Cliff Bar guy.
Dude, have you had that like fucking chocolate mint with caffeine? I like that.
Yes.
I need to buy some more of those. I keep
Those
like
are-
a little basket in my office, my home office,
Mhm.
with snacks, usually protein bars and like fruit and beef jerky and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice little buzz you get from one of those caffeinated the mint bars. Those are gas.
Yeah, dude, those
will
and like
pick you
a
up.
cup of coffee, you put like a Zen in, dude. Oh, my dick is so hard, dude.
Just riding.
I mean,
Just rock hard working from home.
the hardest it's ever
Like, you can call me, but I'm not turning my camera on. Like,
Dang, I've never heard of like a caffeine bar too. That's pretty cool.
it's weird. Like I didn't notice until I got like 2 of them randomly once, and then I was like, what? Like I was like, I feel great. Like what's going on with these protein bars?
Right now. Yeah.
But yeah, they have caffeine in it, which is like super random. That's like the only one that they have caffeine in too, I think. Yeah, I think none of the
Right, I
other flavors
love
have them.
I buy it up, dude.
Yeah, I'll grab a beer real fast.
Get you a beer, dude. Get you. We got all kinds of beer for you here. We still have more pizza.
Do you guys want to do another shot?
I could do a little happy.
I could do a little happy as well. Yeah.
Nice.
I do
Nice.
happy. It's
Have me
for
your-
deliciously nothing.
Yeah,
This
of
is the
course.
longest I've
Hey,
like talked on this show
Virginia?
before.
Do you want a shot too?
Well, is that good?
Yeah, it's good.
No.
So this is the way that we started doing the show back when we were doing it in Lebanon, Tennessee. So this is how, we would just sit around and we would have the table guest would be usually a musician or a stand-up comedian. And if they were a musician, they would like play a song at the table or something like that. And it just kind of grew bigger when we came here to Nashville, and we were able to really have the pool of the local comedians. It was so much easier. Trying to get somebody from the comedy scene to come out to Lebanon was really, unless they like, Monty Hicks was our co-host, so if they wrote in with Monty Hicks, we would have a comedian. Otherwise not. But here, man, it was so easy to book. It was like insane.
Oh yeah.
You know, I can book 10, 12 comedians per night. Whether, you know, all of them show up, that's different, you know, but I could use, if I book 12 people, 8 will show up for sure. And then, you know, 6 is what I'm looking for. So we still have a full show. I mean, if 8 people show up, it's a 4-hour show. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, because you factor in the band and shit. To Deliciously Nothing.
Yeah, to delicious.
Thank you guys for coming out and doing the show. man.
Pleasure to be here. Thanks again for having us. Yeah.
We appreciate it. I'm glad that I'm one of the like official co-hosts of the show. Now it's been fun.
Nick is new to the show. This is his first season with us. And we're glad to have him. He did a lot of guest hosting last year. And so his name was definitely in the hat of people that we thought about having as a co-host. And Nick is the motherfucker.
That's right.
Man, this show is a total fucking vibe, and like I love coming to see Nick at these shows too, because it was like
Seen him out in the wild.
Right. Well, I loved it. I was like, sick, man. I got like my buddies here, and like
That's right.
It's a good vibe. It's super chill, and like for these kind of like some of the drawn out shows, it's like fuck, we're all hanging out and having a really great time, and like people from out of town like want to do this show, so it's fun. You know
Is
what I mean?
that not the craziest shit, dude?
It's chill.
So last year we had people from all over come. A dude specifically flew out here from Las Vegas. Yeah, and it was just like when he was like, "Yeah, I'm buying the ticket and everything." I was like, "Buying the ticket? A bus ticket?" He goes, "No, a plane ticket." And I was like, when he contacted me, I didn't realize where he was coming from, and I looked at his profile. I was like, "Dude, are you in Las Vegas?" He goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "And you're flying to do the show?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm just like, all right.
Did you need a place to stay or something?
So he fucked up and he came a day early. So, you know, we were doing them on Fridays, I think, last year. Okay. And so Thursday, he knocks on my door, like me and my significant at the time. We were sitting there just hanging out, puffing on a joint and everything, and there was like knock on the door. And I was like, "Hey, man, I'm so-and-so, and I'm here for the podcast." I'm like, "Dude, that's tomorrow." And he goes, "Well, I'm here from Las Vegas." And I was like, "Oh, that's you." So I wound up taking him out to eat. We all went out and ate Chinese and shit. And then, like, you know, I entertained him for the evening and then took him to his hotel room, which he had to buy another night. But I was just like, "Dude, I didn't ask you to come here from Las Vegas. Very much thank you for coming, but I mean, you know."
This is an unpaid.
Yeah.
Just kind of hanging out.
I know.
But no, he was really cool. He came out and did a few shows. He did a Kelsey show and everything.
Fuck yeah, okay.
So I mean, yeah,
So
he got here.
had something going on, a little bit of some action.
He took advantage of the Nashville scene, and you know.
He took advantage of us.
Yeah.
that is cool as hell.
That's pretty much what you do.
I mean,
But,
the good thing is we have so many scenes that are fairly close to us that come through. You know, like Nate Jackson likes coming on the show quite a bit.
So there's a big Alabama has a big scene, Birmingham, and
I've noticed that,
We brought
Which you
a ton
wouldn't
of
expect.
Birmingham
I've been meaning to
on,
come
a
out
ton of
Alabama at least. Yeah.
Where's Joyce from? I feel like Joyce is from somewhere else that's not Birmingham, is it?
Joyce, Bobby, and Barbie are all from
Muscle Shoals.
Yeah.
So we have them from Muscle Shoals. Man, I feel like we've had some other.
Well, the last couple of shows have been regional. So one show we had a lot of people from Kentucky. One show we had a lot of people from Knoxville. So it's kind of nice to have like the regional shows where they all ride in together. So you literally have 6 comedians packed up into a car and they're all coming down here to do the show. So there's a good vibe from that because they're already, you know, by the time they get here, they're already jacked up. You know, they've been in the car with each other, riffing and farting and everything else. You know, so. But it's really cool as far as what we've been able to do with the show, as far as mixing the music and the stand-up, and then going out and doing the live venues. The last festival that we were going to do was going to be, we were doing festivals like every few months, and there was like 12 bands. And then the last one that we were going to do for Halloween a couple of years ago was going to be 12 comedians and between 12 bands. Within 12 hours, man, it was going to be fucking awesome. But
That is awesome. Yeah.
the organizer fucked us out of our cash, and it was a fucked up situation. And we haven't had a fest since. But I'm actually really wanting to start doing festivals again.
I could dig that.
Yeah, it's such a great time as far as like, you know, just being out there. And like I had a band at the time that was doing the festivals too, so not only was, you know, DNP putting on the shows, but like I had a band, Sloan and I were actually in, that we were actually playing the shows. And like the last show that we did, I remember like I had a bottle and I went on the stage with the bottle, and I don't remember coming off stage. I was lit. Yeah. So there's photographs of me. Like I didn't. Apparently I had disappeared, and I went up into. We were doing it at Malice Haunted Attraction, and like so I disappeared, and I came back, and I was wearing somebody's clown mask, like an evil clown mask, and so like no one knew it was me, and like I would be like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, I'm shit-faced drunk. I don't remember any of this and everything. So there was a point where like I would just be walking around with this fucking clown mask on. I would be watching people's shows, jamming out with the clown mask on, not knowing shit, man. I mean, it was just like I got so fucked up.
You're just there.
It was a great show.
My dad did something like that. He wore the God, I don't know what the name of the wrestler was, but he always wore like a
Nacho Libre.
Yeah, it was like a Nacho Libre kind of thing. I guess it was Santo, maybe that was his name, and like that is so funny. Like he did that at a party one time, but like I don't know if you've ever heard of Santo or if that is his name. He was like a legendary wrestler. Like he didn't reveal his face for like a few decades. Like
Oh, wow.
He was legit. Like it's something about like if your opponent like removes your mask, it's like it's completely disgracing you kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
But that is such a fucking vibe. I just thinking about that. Sorry, I'm kind of buzzed right now. I'm gonna get some pizza.
No, there's definitely a confidence that comes along with putting on a silly mask for some reason.
Or having it.
You're like a super...
And also being shit-faced. Like
Yeah.
helps boost the ego.
We had a wrestler on that show, Buff Bagwell, and apparently he was in recovery
Buff
at the
Bagwell.
time. And then and so like he gets there, and like so like the organizer that we were dealing with was the organizer that eventually fucked us out of our next gig. But like at that point he was like, yeah, I'm gonna have a wrestler come on, and I'm gonna pay him $1,200. And I was like, Buff Bagwell. And I was like, well, if you're paying him $1,200, is that coming out of your share of the money? Is that like, because I'm not paying to have a professional wrestler at my show. I give no fucks about wrestling. So dude gets there.
Yeah, well,
and
wrestling be happening when you're
yeah. So, well, he just wanted, he wanted a celebrity to be there. And like, he had an opportunity to get Buff Bagwell because he was going to be in town for some kind of event. So he gets there and he's walking around with a cane, like he is fucked up. yeah, like this dude, like he has fucked himself up, and like he's walking around with the cane and like he's meeting people, like people are supposed to know him, and I had no idea who he was. I mean, yeah, he was jacked and everything, and I could assume that he was a wrestler, but I had no fucking idea who the fuck he was. And then they were gonna have him like introduce all the bands and shit like that. So I was like, all right. So apparently we found out a couple of days later that he took the money that was given to him from that organizer and went and bought a bunch of shit. I don't know what he bought. I don't know what his drug of preference was, but like fucking completely like fucked himself, like, and then wound up back into fucking rehab. And so doing our show, he wound up going back into rehab. Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was just like so unnecessary.
God damn it, man.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man.
Which is fucked up because it's like, no one got paid that night because he was like, oh, so we had, this is the thing. And we should have never dealt with him again because, I mean, obviously it was bad news. But, like, we had, it was $10 to get in. And then if you were bringing in alcohol, it was like a $5, like, alcohol tax, $15. So he was telling us why we didn't make any money was because, like, the guy who was running the door was taking people who were coming in without alcohol for $10, but if they're coming in with alcohol, he was only letting them in for $5. And it was just like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, it was like so fucked. Like one band got paid. I guess one band had a guarantee pay or something like that, and which I don't play that bullshit. But I think what he did is he wound up taking the fucking door in order to fucking pay Buff Bagwell, which eventually led him into rehab once he blew his mind out in a fucking hotel with whatever he was in.
Buff Bagwell.
Yeah.
Dude, was he on meth? Is that his drug of choice?
No, it wasn't a meth because he was a big dude, you know, for as fucked up as he was. But I mean, I'm assuming it was like, you know, opioid related or heroin related. I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know. I mean, I don't know anything about anyone's, you know, drugs of choice. But I thought it was just kind of funny that that's what fucking happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a direct result of this podcast, ended up relapsing and going to rehab.
Right.
You know, that's what fame and fortune will do to you. You know.
Well, I think that, you know, I don't know personally because I've never been there, and you know, but I to me, like if you're coming from some place where you're having nothing and then you wind up having the fame and fortune, it seems silly for someone to go ahead and piss it away. Like I hear stupid shit, like the most stupid shit I've ever heard, and like bar none would be Kurt Cobain, where he says, I'm going to earn my first $1 million and then get addicted to heroin. That is the most stupidest, insane bullshit I have ever heard, and then does it. Earns his first $1 million, and then what does he do? Fucking self-sabotage and gets on the fucking heroin. And it's just like there's no respect for that. That's just like he took advantage of a situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you knew that from the start.
Yeah.
So if that was
Yeah.
even joking about it and then doing it, it's like, what?
But he
Why
wasn't
would you
even
ever?
joking about it. He was like completely serious. And then he fucking does do it, supposedly. I guess, you know, if you watch the documentary, apparently Courtney Love allegedly did it. But, you know, I mean, the fact that you're going to say that, you're going to put that out there, and then you do it, and then die, and all these people were like, oh, Kurt, bitch, he told you he was going to do it.
That was the plan the whole time.
Yeah.
Haven't you been listening? Some fan you are.
Right.
That's fucking you know, that's sad. Come on, Kurt. There's better things out there. There's fucking Little Caesars pizza.
But you can't mainline Little Caesars Pizza.
It was like,
R.I.P.
Little
Kurt Cobain,
Caesars
you would've
Pizza
loved
is better than drugs.
The little things, Kurt. Come on. You're a goddamn artist. Okay, I'm sorry. Man, no, that is fucked up though. I one thing that I don't like is that and I don't know about anybody's preference here, but I don't like the idea that there's like a fucking conspiracy around his death, like the Courtney Love killing him.
See, I don't know.
It's
I
so
barely know.
fucked
I know
up.
that he killed himself, but like that's like
It's
kind of
such
where my
like
knowledge
a
ends.
fucked up thing to do for like a really sad story to be like, yeah, it's all fucking fake. She did it. She said it. It's all a conspiracy. It's like imagine like you like somebody you love so dearly dying, and then they'd be like, you fucking shot him in the face. Like, no.
Yeah.
That's fucking
That would be fucked up to be accused of it.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen the documentary Kurt and Courtney?
No, is it like, damn, she did it? Kind of
So
thing?
at the end of it, you're like, damn, she did it. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Damn.
unfortunate. Yeah, maybe she had some influence on it happening as like somebody who's very close to somebody. Maybe there's something there, but it's like, god damn, it's I don't know, man. She fucking did it. What am I saying? No.
No, that happened like the same time around like Lorena Bobbitt happened. So like, you know, where she cuts. It's like there was a point where like a lot of dudes at that time were just like, man, you know, just like, you know, yeah.
Sad time with all
Well,
that.
I mean, I remember there was a point where like, you know, especially after the Lorena Bobbitt thing, like I was tucking my dick in between my legs to make sure, like she just can't reach over and grab me and just cut that motherfucker off. You know what I mean? There was a point where like there was a legitimate scare that, especially with my first wife, man, she was a crazy fucking bitch. I think if anybody would be influenced to cut my dick off, it'd be that bitch.
The motivation.
Yeah, yeah.
That's funny, man.
But yeah,
That's the one. You think so?
I dodged that bullet.
That's good.
Got me wearing special
So
underwear.
your penis is
for
probably
that.
safe then.
No. Although I have gone to the doctor recently and I have had the test for everything, and so my penis is 100% safe. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah, 100%.
Wonderful.
I haven't done
I need
anything
a
with it in a
doctor
while,
for
but
that.
well, I mean,
Okay,
you know,
When was
Do you have
the last
insurance?
time you went to the doctor?
I went to the doctor earlier this year for the first time in a while.
was it for your dick?
No, I mean he touched my dick. it was a,
Judge it,
it was
not a dick
few-
doctor, though.
It was like a general dick.
physical?
touching, yeah.
Yes.
It was very physical. Yeah. No, yeah, he No, I got a physical, but like he wasn't like
The hernia
your
test.
dick is good. he didn't do that. I mean, he was just like, all right.
Well, it's weird. It's like
He was like really into it.
That's what
That's
I
a great
want.
dick right there.
Dude, I'm like, oh yeah, that's great, man. No, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? What is wrong?
I would be like,
Why is your doctor
am-
trying to
What is your diet? Is it
touch your dick like
my
that?
first reaction would be like, okay, and then I'd be like,
Is it
Come on,
man, woman, rough age? Well, who's this person that's touching your dick?
Man,
Oh.
Middle Ages. The middle-aged.
Middle-aged man.
He's a knight, yeah.
I've always had dudes as
in
doctors.
a white lab coat.
But now I'm thinking, now that I'm like changing like doctors, like I don't have a specific doctor anymore, but I'm thinking about having like a female doctor just for those things, like, you know, because like all the checks and everything, you know, like I'm at the age now where, you know, you get the finger up the butt and all that stuff. I'd just rather have a female do that. I'd rather just not like have one of my bros like look me in the eye and have a conversation with me and then tells me to bend over and sticks his finger in my ass. I'm just, you know, there's like a...
The less in common, the better. Like,
yeah.
You know, I'm all for female therapists. Most definitely.
See, then that's where I draw the line. I say no because I've had female therapists, and I say no because all I want to do is, all I'm sitting there thinking about is fucking her. Like there was a point I was staring off the space, but I was staring off the space at her giner.
You should tell her that.
That is so, dude, what in the hell? What in the fuck?
You should tell her
And she
that. You should be
jumps.
like, I have a problem looking at your giner.
Yeah, her vagina, her roast beef, her fucking.
It was a dude, you know. I wouldn't be like, you know, like I'd probably like be laying down on the couch rather than like, you know, staring directly at. And I have to say, like my therapist was fucking hot. I mean, it was just like.
Oh, see, mine I'm not attracted to. She is gay. She is very, very much a lesbian.
Well, I
Like-
connect with lesbians, you know.
I'm with lesbians too.
Oh, but is this like a lipstick lesbian or like a butch lesbian?
No. She's
lesbian.
kind of. She's a little.
Butch.
Yes.
Butch.
Yeah.
Shaved
Yes.
head,
No.
spiky hair.
I would love to have. I would love to have
I'm picturing
like.
Furiosa. How close am I?
I would love to have a therapist with like a buzzed head, but like a little bit growing back, you know, like halfway there.
Honestly, hair length of like Oliver's hair, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
My hair reminds people.
What ethnicity is your therapist?
White.
Okay. Like white, or a little olive, maybe.
Like white and in her probably like late 50s.
Okay.
Like I not not interested.
Okay. Right,
But
yeah.
kind of butch looking, yes.
All right.
You know.
Yeah, she's been through the ringer.
I wouldn't say that necessarily. Just like I'm not attracted to it.
Just an accomplished lesbian therapist.
Yeah,
Just,
dude. Like she
A professional.
She helps me figure out my brain. You know.
That's good.
Untangle those wires.
So I
figure it
stopped
out.
seeing my therapist when my therapist said that I needed Jesus. Yeah.
It
Um,
doesn't go
Therapist
religious
alert.
on me, but she does understand how people with people addicts work. You know.
I never
She's
knew
experienced
that
that.
AA was such a religious thing until recently.
Yeah, it's super heavily related with the Bible.
I
Are
never
you
knew
an
that.
AA?
No,
Okay.
I go every now and then
My dad's a big
Good coffee.
AA guy. Yeah,
when
that's
I
why
when
I'm-
I feel like I need to.
I was in NA
You had to go to that
Yeah.
for a while.
for weed.
Really?
Oh.
Okay.
Yup. So I
It
was.
looks like it's done something.
Court ordered.
Shit.
So it was court ordered. I was trying to get custody of my daughter, and so in order to do that, since the ex-wife decided to tell the court that I smoked weed, and they're like, "No, it's okay. We'll just give you a drug test, and you can take her and be on your way." I was like, well, "No, I smoke weed."
I don't think you understand.
Yeah. So I had to go to NA and everything, and like every time I go there, I had to have them like sign the paper that I actually went and shit like that. And like I'm there with like people who have like hardcore stories, have like done hardcore drugs, you know, guys who have gotten into like opium, started for like, you know, they had back problems and they got on the pills and then they went from the pills to heroin and shit. It's like there's people there for hard, and then I'm standing up. It reminds me of like in Half Baked where Dave Chappelle is at the NA meeting and like, you know, he's like, "Hey, I'm here for weed," and then like Bob Saget gets up, is like, "You ever sucked a dick for weed?" No, you know. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things. Like I'm amidst all these people, and you're in the round with these people and everything, and they're talking. Some people are just talking and meandering about. You pray for a day that you go to the meeting and people just aren't wanting to talk about shit, and they're just talking about, you know, Scooby Doo or something. But then when you got somebody there and they're having a hard time, and then they're like breaking off some shit, you're like, God damn, man, I don't know how much more of this I can take. It's just like, dude, breaking off with like real shit and everything. And it was just like, so it was very hard to be in that situation where like I'm just there because I smoke weed.
Did
It's
you
like,
ever like speak during the thing?
so you're
Just like,
encouraged
yeah,
to. So like I did, and like, you know, so I would exaggerate what I do. So it's just like, you know, like, yeah, man, I'm an equal opportunity drug user, man. I'll do anything. You got it. I'll fucking take it. Which is kind of true.
You like really hammed it up.
So like, because it's like I didn't want people to think that I was there because like, you know, I'm just smoking weed.
Was it like, you got it, I take it, but most of the time they pretty much only got weed.
Yeah. I once did 20 hits of acid, man. I followed it up with drinking a bottle of Robitussin. Fuck you. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's just one of those things where it's just like, you know, it was just horrible listening to all those stories, man, and then having to be there and being like a part of it and sharing my stupid little fucking like, you know, dope stories and everything, pretending like I've got a problem when I don't.
It's just weird.
It is
Yeah.
humbling, I'm sure.
No, all I want to do is like offer people, hey man, you guys want to go smoke a joint?
Yeah.
You know, I got a couple of joints in the fucking car.
I'm pretty bummed out. You guys want to smoke some weed?
Yeah, right.
There's always a few long-winded alcoholics that are very old at the AA meetings.
See, I would like to
That's
sit
very,
in
very
on
common.
an AA meeting and see what the difference between an AA meeting and an NA meeting would be. Because, like, NA meeting seems like a bunch of partiers. Like, an AA meeting sounds like people that are just, like, they're about to die.
Just shaking, man.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a few that are like about to die, but there's honestly quite a few that are like not about to die.
Okay.
There's a good one about that.
Dude,
Like, oh, they have
there were
probably
so
like
many-
50 more years left, you know?
There were so many
80,
females at the
maybe.
NA meeting and everything that I was wanting to hit on. I didn't because I'm a gentleman, but I mean, there's so many people I wanted to go up to after a meeting and be like, hey, man. Got a couple of joints in the car.
Your vibe is cool. I heard some of those stories you were telling.
Yeah, I'm really interested.
Cool, yeah.
I'd love to hear more about those brake lines you stole.
You said you know how to. You had some great stories about stealing. Fucking goddamn it! I fucked
Catalytic
that up.
converter?
Yeah.
Dude, I knew you were
I was
talking
just
about.
thinking about like how my brother was like, "Why do people steal catalytic converters?" I'm like, "It's got precious metals." It's very.
Is there what's like the code name for AA? Is there like a code name for NA as well? 'Cause AA is what's it like Friends of Bill W or whatever.
That
Friends of
is
Bill
a
W.
code.
I've never
Bill
heard
W is
that.
one of the guys that like made AA.
That's pretty interesting.
I don't
Okay.
know, cause I've always thought NA was just like straight up just like a copy and paste of AA.
It's the
It
it's
is.
roughly the same.
Well,
thing,
you still have the
yeah.
same mantra. You know, they all say the same prayer at the beginning of the meeting, which it slips my mind now.
the
But
Serenity Prayer.
the Serenity Prayer. Thank you, sir. Do you remember the Serenity Prayer?
No, but I do have it on the back of a couple of AA chips.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and they give you like little postcards and everything that have it on it. So like, just in case you don't remember or too high to remember, you can break it out and fucking. Dude, okay. So I was doing so much Xanax at the time. That was another thing. That was
Should have been an NA.
Boom! Yes.
Popping bars.
Okay.
Oliver's best moment, dog. Hell yes, dude.
That was funny. Man. But
You're doing Xanax.
you're doing something.
okay. So all right. So I
This
was
is not when you were fucking what?
All right, so before I went to NA, I was just smoking weed, right? And so it got to the point where, like, and I was afraid to get drug tested for weed and everything. So I stopped smoking weed, and then I started drinking. And when I got home from work, I would have 2 Long Island iced teas, and then I would take a Xanax bar. And I did that religiously to the point where I got hooked on Xanax for a little while I was on NA. And I was worried about getting drug tested. And then I wound up getting to the point where I got my doctor to like prescribe me an exorbitant amount of Xanax. I was doing Xanax. Dude, there'd be times where I'd be talking to people, and then like I'd just stop and I'd be looking at them like, what the fuck was I talking about? And they'd be looking at me like, dude, I haven't known what you were talking about for the last 20 minutes.
Just mumbling.
I tuned you out an hour ago, man. Like, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, dude.
What a vibe.
Yeah, man. It was great.
I've only taken Xanax like 1 or 2 times, but I mean this is gonna sound lame, but like I just remember like every time I take it, I just like forget like the day.
Everything.
Like, I
Right.
just
You
don't know if I
time
can do it
travel.
again.
It's
Yeah,
called
yeah.
time travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I ever did it was like back when Rick and Morty was still fucking kicking.
Time traveler.
And
It's a Xanax show.
Yeah.
I just remember being like, this show is so weird. And then like I remember watching the episode again, and I was like, you know, I don't remember any of this. I don't remember like how any of this happened.
This is not the show at all. What the
Like,
fuck?
whoa, why are they going so fast? What the hell is
The
this?
vibe is much different.
I was telling a friend of mine how great a particular movie was, and I was so fucked up on Xanax when I watched it, and then I wound up rewatching it and forgot that I told this dude how great this was, and I was just shitting on this movie, and it was like, dude, I just rented this movie, and I was like, oh really, who the fuck told you to do that? He goes, you did.
That's awesome.
Okay? So a bar, it's like in the 4 sections, right? What do you have a term for one of the 4 sections? I want to see if this is a thing.
No, because they wouldn't give me the bars. They only gave me the footballs. Yeah.
Those are pillows.
Oh,
That's
oh.
footballs, but.
And then they gave me the 1 milligram time release. So I was taking a time released 1 milligram 3 times a day. But it wasn't hitting like it was supposed to, so I would just chew them.
Breakable little capsules.
Yeah, no, it was like a tablet. It was like a chewable tablet and everything. So I would just chew it up, swallow it down, and I'd be just good to go. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It was just horrible, man. It was just one of those things where it's like, okay. So I wasn't just taking them because I was just taking them. I mean, I was dealing with anxiety bad. And in order to make it, and in order to make it through my day, they were giving me the Xanax or Ativan. And then of course, these things are only supposed to be for short-term use. So the longer you go, the more that you're going to need. So there was a point, like they only want you to take like 0.5 milligrams a day. And there was a point where I was taking 3 milligrams a day. And into the medical community, that's an exorbitant amount. Like you think 3 milligrams, and you're taking like 500 milligrams of Tylenol or something like that. No, there's 2 different drugs. I mean, a 3 milligram fucking dosage of fucking Xanax is gonna put you the fuck out. Like a normal person who doesn't do drugs, and you give them a 0.5 milligram tab of Xanax, they're gonna be asleep.
Yeah.
A trooper, you give him 3 milligrams of Xanax and it's party time. Yeah, now I'm where I need to be.
Fucking A, man. Yeah, I've never like been prescribed prescription drugs, but I can't believe I can't tell if that's like because I had something wrong with me or because my parents didn't love with me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I never like got prescribed anything though,
Well,
and so like
that's good.
That is good.
Because a lot of things that they wind up putting kids on now, like the SSRIs or Ritalin or something like that, they do more damage than anything. I mean, let kids be kids. They're always saying that like, oh, he's got ADHD and all this other bull. He's a kid.
He's 10. What do you have?
Yeah.
That's supposed to focus.
Right.
Like, Adderall is like speed. It's like fucking,
So I hear about people getting into that, like in high school and college where they're like, they're trying to get like through a test or something like that, and so they're cramming for their exams.
Dude, I took a good amount of Vyvanse in college.
Yeah.
I would just I would save. I wouldn't do work all week, and then Sunday morning I'd go to the library at 8 a.m., eat no food, take a 30 milligram, and literally work from like 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. and just get all my shit done. And I was like locked in. I would listen to like music, and I would just totally lock in, and then I'd go home and I would be able to sleep. So I'd have to like smoke a whole bunch, and then I was like, now I'm just awake and high. So this is cool.
Oh my
Watch
goodness.
movies until I passed out, but like, it's like a cheat code. It is tempting.
I never took it a ton, but like I did take it like once or twice for like an exam or something or some sort of paper that I had to take.
Vyvanse.
Yeah, or Adderall actually. Okay. But yeah, like I don't know, like every time I say this, like I don't know if everybody agrees. I've heard like a few people agree with it, but like it feels like you're taking like Molly, like when you're doing it. Like to me,
really?
Well, it makes me feel like I'm taking Molly, but it's not like fun. I'm like.
You're just like
really,
very hyper focused. Dude, I was writing my thesis, and I would do that, and then I would listen to the score, the soundtrack from The Social Network.
Whoa.
That killer ass movie with the cool like techno music,
Okay,
and I'd be like, I'm fucking locked in. I was like, this is sick. Like,
that is a fucking vibe.
I was like, I am Zuckerberg. It's a weird, it's like an altered state of consciousness.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I just want to work.
I mean, like, holy shit, it's like hard drugs. It's crazy.
I mean, it's an amphetamine basically.
Yeah. And to like give kids that freaks me the fuck out. So.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you should give kids anything as far as drugs. I mean, I don't give a fuck what it is. I mean, it's just like growing up. Like you started to hear kids getting like lithium and stuff like that, and you're like, well, what the fuck is that? And then by the time like the 90s comes around, and like I'm starting to people are having kids of their own. And like you hear them getting put on different things like Prozac. why are you putting kids on this? Like, let them be kids.
Yeah, let them run around.
Like, you're having a problem with them running around and fucking and being a fucking kid? You want them to fucking be sedated and sitting in the corner? That's, that's not conducive to what they need to be doing. They need to be outside and fucking, making bonds and fucking doing shit, building shit, making forts or some bullshit like that, just...
I can agree that there are some, like, extreme cases that could, possibly need it in certain...
There are some individuals that are fucked up, but the fact that anybody going to their kids and like, I can't take this kid anymore, you've got to put him on something. I mean, that shit is fucked up.
That's like on par for me, like... I had like teachers in middle school that would tell me about like left-handed, and they're like, oh yeah, I had to fucking like sit and face the back of the classroom and then write with my right hand until I got good at it. And I was like, fucking, how old are you? Like, what do you mean they were doing that to you in school? And like that like is on par. I'm like, nah, just like let them do their thing. Like, don't medicate them. Like, let them figure that shit out and like do what works for them. Like, don't introduce this thing that they're now gonna like not be able to function without.
True. I think depending on the age of the kid, if they like want to get on it, they can ask their parents and that. Like, that's acceptable, but that that's like all like handled
Not as far as
household,
kids. I don't agree. I don't think any child should be put on drugs. Because I mean those things wind up, because you're changing the chemistry. So I mean you're having somebody that they may be having issues, but putting them on drugs isn't going to be the issue. That's not going to be the thing that solves it.
Let kids smoke weed.
Let kids smoke.
So
weed.
I have
that is our solution to everything.
I don't
actually
think
that should be the new ham sandwich mandate.
You think so? So actually, I don't think that.
Smoke weed.
I think that people should not smoke weed until their brains stop growing, man. Like your brain, stops growing around 25, 26, something like that. So I don't think like introducing. Now, the flip side on this, like you might not make it to 25, so do everything that you need to be doing. Yeah. But I think for the most part, like to get the, and it depends on what you're doing in life. Like, if you're going to be a doctor, certainly don't. But like, if you're a dirtbag in a thrash band, and like, who gives a fuck? Party on, Wayne.
I hope a lot of doctors smoke weed. First of all, I really hope a lot of doctors smoke weed.
I think a lot of them are. I would imagine.
Yeah. If anyone deserves to smoke weed, it is doctors.
Everyone has earned the right to smoke weed.
Or presidents. I'd rather my president to smoke weed. Or all politicians.
Dude.
I'd rather have a super chill president than a super anxious president.
I think that all politicians, especially president, I think that you should all do Molly. I think Molly should be given to anybody who wants to be a political leader of any sort.
How about this? Donald Trump says he's never drank or done any drugs like that. You think that's true?
I think that's bullshit,
that's
dude.
I think
he's lying.
Has had to been dosed with acid.
I don't think you're hanging out with Epstein and have been sober the whole time. But I mean, what's that? Because it's his brother or whatever, right?
Wait, who? Sorry.
It's like Donald Trump's older brother, like, was an alcoholic and like died because of it.
Is that true?
I believe that's what I heard one time on Twitter. I just believed it, so it very well may not be the case.
If that is, then rest in peace.
But I mean,
who's to say that Donald Trump didn't drink before that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
I don't know. It is pretty fucking.
I have a very bad vibe for people when I meet somebody and they don't drink or they don't smoke or something like that. Like they don't have a vice. It's very hard for me. Like I can't have a friendship with somebody who doesn't smoke or doesn't drink. It's like gonna hang out with somebody but then just be stone cold sober and shit. That I got about an hour of conversation for you, and after that you need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if we're drinking and hanging out and smoking and shit like that, then, fuck yeah. I mean, the night's our oyster and shit like that. But I mean, just for someone who I know who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, like, hey man, we're gonna come over and hang out and everything. I was like, all right. Well,
it's weird because you don't want to be on a different level from somebody else too. Like if they're not drinking, it's like, okay, like, I don't want to be like buzzed while you're stone cold sober, like this conversation's gonna feel weird. Like I'd rather us both be there, you know.
Yeah, there's I totally feel you on that. Like I don't know if there's like a vibe of like, oh, you can have fun without having to do this.
Because those
It's
people
like,
aren't fun. When you wind up being around those type of people and they say that, well, what are you doing that's so fun? Fucking entertain me, motherfucker.
Yeah. You said something about like the Vices thing. It's like I like the idea of being like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because I've told you all the shit that I'm fucked up about, you know, and it's like, what is your problem, you know?
It's just been sunshine and rainbows your whole life.
sharing time.
Yeah.
Well, you also want to be on the same level with someone. The worst thing is to be tripping on acid around somebody who's not tripping on acid. That's the worst. If I'm tripping with my bros and everything, but there's one person who wants to be around and they're not tripping, like their vibe is automatically off from everybody else's and shit, and it's just like it's so hard to trip and then have someone stuck, because all of a sudden you're going through that acid paranoia. It's like, was he judging us? Like, fuck him. And
Is he having a good time? Like,
why doesn't he want to make us a pizza? Like, we're over here having a fucking weird time. Nah, I do know what you mean though. Like, it's like sometimes they're a bit resentful. Because they're like, God damn, my friends are having a fucking, they're off in space right now and I have to deal with my own shit. But like, I don't know, like, I have met a few people who have been pretty chill about it and they're like, I will trip sit you guys because you're funny to watch. But
like, trip setting is like the one exception where it's like, okay, like if you've accepted a mantle of responsibility in this circle, then fine. But if you're just here hanging out, then it's like.
So if it's like your designated driver, then definitely. Because like when you're on acid, you definitely want to get the fuck out of the house. You definitely want to get out into the world. The worst thing to do is be fucking cooped up with a bunch of people on acid in a fucking small room. Like if we were all tripping right now in this space right now, we'd all be fucking piled up in a fucking car. Whoever wasn't tripping was going to be taking us somewhere. We're going to go to a park, run around naked. I don't know. Something's happening. Yeah.
One of my favorite like times I've ever tripped with my buddies, we planned on just going to see a movie. And like I don't know if we had like a plan of like which movie we were gonna see, but we were living in Chattanooga at the time, and so like everything's kind of like a fucking like I think this is maybe like a 20-minute walk to the movie theater, maybe less. Like I'm pretty sure it was less, but we took acid and walked to the movie theater, and like it was so silly because like we didn't start really feeling it until we walked through the doors of the movie theater, you know? Like
Perfect timing.
Yeah, perfect timing from outside to inside. And we're like
switch right there.
Yeah, like color saturation, we're like really like okay.
Dude,
now I gotta
almost
fucking buy a ticket.
He's a kiosk right now.
It's almost like you open the doors to the movie theater, and inside of it you just see like the you traveling through space, the Millennium Falcon, you know?
It's like the Regal commercials, like the giant thing of popcorn, like a giant soda, like you're moving.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
The movie that we saw was The Missing Link. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that movie. It's a stop motion animation. It's like the guy who made the people who made Coraline, but it's about like these guys finding Bigfoot, and then Bigfoot is Zach Galifianakis, and it's just so fucking awesome.
I pictured it's him in the woods,
So
no costume. He's just like,
awesome.
yeah, it's me. I'm Bigfoot.
I feel so bad too, because, it was like just us in the movie theater, and like we're like 30 minutes early for this movie, so we're like waiting for like the ads to start playing, you know, and we're like listening to music really loud, and nobody else was in the theaters. So
people are cleaning up in the movie before you were around you. You're like sitting in your chair, they're sweeping up popcorn.
We were there super early. I don't know if there was anybody there, but I felt like we were available to be like loud and like laughing our ass off. Like somebody bought popcorn, and we're like, Like, I was, like, laughing and throwing my popcorn. I was being a menace. That was not
terrible.
But I was, like, we were high as fuck and just laughing our asses off. But, like, yeah, if you ever have the chance, watch The Missing Link on acid, because that movie will make you want to cry, dude.
I saw Child's Play 2 tripping.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was
a horror movie. I feel like
I think a children's movie is actually the best option.
So June 20th, they are re-releasing Midsummer in theaters. I want to go tripping because that is a movie made for mushrooms. Have you guys ever seen Midsummer?
Yeah, recently.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like that is just like the way they do it with everything just breathing in and out and everything.
It's true. It's very accurate.
Whoa.
No, it is, and dude, and
That's
so
pretty cool.
so they're putting it out June 20th, and man, like I'm wanting to see who has some fucking like I really would like to do some Molly, like that would be great, you know, because like, then you can like you can chill out like. Here lately, man, like getting on fucking like my last acid trip was like granted I fucked up. I took way more than I should have. But like even my mushroom never mind, I take way more than I should have. Like I do way too much and like some people I do like a gram or something like that of like mushrooms or something like or a point for Molly and I'm just like, no, let me do 4 or 5 points of Molly. Let me do a fucking, eighth of fucking mushrooms. Like I'm always like
because that's what you think like will do that for you.
Yeah.
Like, dude, yeah, you really don't have to go super hard. Like,
No.
And like I know people like talk about like microdosing is like kind of like easy and chill. It is super easy and chill. Like,
yeah, and it's still like something. Like it's not nothing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I just like I'm like from that excessive like 80s mentality where like, dude, we're gonna do 10 hits of acid tonight and
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, shit, man, you still see that going around. I mean, like, just fucking A, man, yeah.
Well, my daughter
It's
gave
hard.
me 2 hits of acid, and she's told me it was double dipped, and I took 1 hit, and it didn't do anything. And like the way that the paper was, it was like thick, almost like cardboard, and I was just kind of like, well, maybe it's like old or not. So I decided to do both of them, everything. Well, the paper was so thick, so it holds a lot of acid. And so it just took a while for it to hit in. So by the time I took like the second hit, about 10 minutes later, that first hit had kicked in. And by the time that second hit, dude, I was like, I had never tripped so hard on fucking acid before. And like it was like, I'm sitting there thinking like, man, this is so dark. Like the hallucinations, the visualizations, the colors and everything were like, had a shadow behind it. Like everything was just like, I'm thinking it's like, oh, this is like demonic acid or something like that, man. It was just like, it was like such a like a weird trip. It was like the hardest time. And of course, like only in my older ages I started tripping alone because like none of my friends trip anymore. So if I'm tripping by myself. So I like walk to the park or something like that, or just hang out and listen to some fucking music or something. But tripping by yourself is not like. The last mushroom trip I did a couple of years ago was not the last one I did, but like the big one I did, I wound up divorcing my fucking wife, quitting my job. I mean, like I did this whole fucking life change because it was just like I got so introspective and I'd never like my first mushroom trip I ever had. I'm by myself, so I got so introspective, so into my head. To where I was going through with everything, all my stressors, all the things that was going wrong in my life, all the things I wanted to do in life, and I was like, fuck it. I'm divorcing my wife, I'm quitting my fucking job, I'm doing this, I'm buying the car I fucking want, blah, blah, blah. And so like the next day, I literally fucking told my wife I fucking, wanted a divorce. I fucking went into work, put in my fucking 2 weeks notice, fucking got another job somewhere else. Like I had changed my whole fucking life around. And I can say that I am no better from when I was then. It was like, at least then I had stability. I was in a marriage, I knew where shit was going to be. And like now everything is like completely up in the air, but I'm having fun. So it's like I was like having a boring life, but I was in a fucking stable fucking relationship, or like being single and not knowing what the fuck is going on from one day to the next. It's like every day is just crazy. I don't know if I'm going to be playing in a fucking punk rock band or doing this or fucking what, man, but it's been fucking interesting.
That's hardcore.
That is true.
It's like it's completely life turnaround, and it was just from tripping fucking mushrooms, man.
Dude, yeah, drugs are
Bad,
Strong.
man.
Yeah.
Drugs bad,
Drugs
okay.
bad, man. Drugs are
I've never
fucking
tripped
strong.
mushrooms enough to like divorce.
I did an
somebody,
eighth.
but I've also never
I
been
did.
married,
I did
so.
an eighth of dried mushrooms. So I mean,
You know, that's another thing. People always say that an eighth is like the dose, and that's like the most insane shit in the world because I go fucking insane. off
I've
of
done
the
a
gram.
quarter before. We used to do quarters.
Well, okay, so the most mushrooms I've ever
That's
done
so
was just
much.
like eating off of
That
like a
would-
table of like 20 grams. Like I wasn't eating 20 grams, but like me and my buddy were just kind of like pinching off of it, like out of like a long time. But like I don't know like how much I took, but I definitely took some of my friends' mushrooms, and that was that definitely fucked me up. I was like a month.
Tripping.
Yeah, like a month after that, like I was having trouble like really talking to people. You know, I was that shit
Wow.
like that shit hit hard. I remember like being in college and being like, I can't talk. I don't know what the fuck to say to you. I'm so fucked up about like being high a week ago. I don't know. That
Damn.
was yeah. I remember that fucking me up for a minute there, but yeah. Ever since then, it's like I remember doing that and being like afraid of mushrooms for like a year. I would be like, I'm not fucking doing that again. And then I took like a little bit one time, and I was like, wow, I'm not fucked up right now. I'm actually having a good time. So, like, I'm totally about like super good moderation. 'Cause it's like,
Yeah.
versus like having
That's
a
so
fucking
important.
lame ass time that fucks you up for a month, or having like a chill ass time that.
Well, there's no education, especially when it comes to drugs, because you know drugs are bad and gay. So there's no real like places that you can go where like there's a guru or something like that where people are like, no, this is how you do it. There are a few places like the ayahuasca and stuff like that, but that's not something for like you know your weekend stoner.
I'm just gonna shout out Dance Safe because they're pretty chill about that. They provide like Narcan and shit at the shows I go to.
No shit.
Yeah.
Right on. That's cool.
They're
Fentanyl
the
test
kind of
strips and
people that's
stuff.
like, yeah. Test.
Nice.
They're like, people should party, but they should really take care of themselves. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're not gonna
Right.
shun you for doing drugs, but like, you should really like
I
test
feel like
your
there's
shit.
definitely been a push into that the past couple of years where it's like, hey, like if you're gonna fucking do it, like all the fraternities and sororities at my college, like gave out test strips and like they had Narcan like in every campus building. Like it was very much like, listen, like we know this is fucking happening, so like we'd rather you be safe about it, you know?
It's cool when you like find out about the people who run that, because it's like just some guys that used to party that used to like test their friends as shit at parties, and then they're like, I could actually make like a organization to help out at other shows and stuff. And like,
But you have to have something like that
yeah,
this day and age. So it's good that they're doing that.
it's, yeah.
I
That
mean,
picture of, like,
fentanyl is in everything.
Like
Yeah,
the
we
like
can't
the
trust
lethal dose
any
of fentanyl next
drugs.
to a
Drugs
penny.
aren't like
Yeah,
drugs
like,
like they
not
used to be, dude.
Yeah. It's
People
it's,
go hard with it.
It's unfortunate, I'm glad that I don't like always like go for like the hard drugs at shows. I like acid and I like mushrooms. I like hallucinogens like that, but like I don't stray too far from that.
Are you?
pretty
Is
vanilla
it so?
for the most part.
So it's like an electronic kind of vibe, right? Those concerts.
I go to like a lot of electronic shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there like a heavy like Whippets kind of vibe there?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, okay,
I like.
yeah.
He said, yeah. I used to think that Whippets were pretty fucking funny, and now I think
What?
they're kind of like. I kind of think they're a little unflattering, you know. what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
It's a lot of work.
Unflattering.
Because I mean, like, I like doing Whippets. I just don't like having my own tank. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, like
You know,
someone
like
walk around,
fucking
like-
buying a balloon. and,
Yeah, like one balloon is like, alright,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
5 bits. So you don't want to be like cracking shit open, like.
yeah, doing that. And like I said, I record concerts,
Oh, yeah.
so like they're loud as fuck and they like annoy the shit out of me. So like, I personally have a grudge with them, but I also am like, ugh, I don't know. Some of my friends are getting into it. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's just kind of dumb. But back in the day, it was pretty funny. I love like hearing a guy like at like a concert sometimes. Like if it's like a super late night concert that I don't like give a shit about, and like I hear somebody like far away like ice cold, you know, like
Ice
does anybody have $20? Are we
Take
about
a little
to,
one.
Yeah, are we about to have a fucking funny ass out like I was gonna say hour. It's more like 20. More like 5 minutes. It's pretty stupid, but that's why it was pretty funny with balloons. It's because it's like one and done.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The accessibility of that is like you can get like
Yeah.
whippets on like Amazon. Like it's
Yeah,
not, like,
yeah.
that's-
You can go to the porn stores and they have.
Yeah,
them
they
there.
have like smoke shops. They have like whippets and
It's
like the
gnarly.
corners.
So
Yeah, it's
weird.
pretty fucking weird. I don't know.
for cake purposes only or something.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, for baking
Ah,
purposes,
for
yeah.
baking,
You got to
yeah.
show your culinary license to get them.
Yeah.
For licking whipped cream off of my wife's asshole.
Dude, I mean, it is a great time.
Oh yeah.
Do you not? I mean,
Oh, it's laughing gas for a reason.
Yeah,
Oh,
he gets
yeah.
it, dude.
No, I don't
Yes.
know. I should have
Yes.
said my husband's asshole. That would have been a little bit funnier.
For whippets, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I had to get my, because
Asshole.
it's like it's just laughing gas. It's like the
Yeah.
same stuff. So I remember
Yeah.
when I had to get my wisdom teeth out, they were like, "We're gonna give you like they were do like 5 minutes of laughing gas, and then we're gonna give you an IV and put you under." I was like, 5 minutes of laughing gas? I was like, "Let's go." They're gonna hang out.
The thing is like people use that like that dentist thing, the
Mhm.
dentist thing, as like an excuse to be like, I have like 10 cans now.
Yeah, those big ones on the. It's on like a
dude,
dolly.
that's
It's like,
like
I was like, oh
A
damn.
doctor would use this. You know, kind of
I
thing.
got a
It's
mask,
like-
no balloon, no cracker, nothing.
yeah, it's like I don't think a doctor's nitrous has flavor on it
Doctor's
now.
nitrous.
No.
I swear, I don't know if you guys have seen that shit. They have flavor on it now.
No.
It's like
No.
it's
Sounds
sad.
interesting.
It is. I mean,
It's sad. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
it's like peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler whippet.
laughing gas.
Yeah, I know.
Is that like Whippet brand is doing that for the purposes of making flavored
This
thing, or is it like
fucking,
some
like,
secondhand?
ratchet ass?
Okay.
You know, the shit they sell.
This
over
is not
there,
a
you know?
sponsored product.
I mean, like shit, dude. It used to just be like, yeah, man, this is fucking weird. It gets pink and you blow it into a balloon. Now it's like, bro, check it out. It tastes cool.
I mean, that's how the vape thing like took
Yeah,
off.
yeah,
that was
totally.
when
Sure.
when Juuls were menthol and Virginia tobacco wasn't that big of a thing, and then
Juuls,
dude.
man.
Then
I
they
remember-
got all
Did you have a
colorful,
Juul, like,
all
when
these
that was a
different
thing?
I was
flavors
never a
and-
nicotine guy.
Oh,
I was
see, I had
pretty
a-
vanilla. I'm like weed and psychedelics, but I don't drink often and I don't smoke tobacco. So that's like,
Okay.
it's the A type, B type, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have a Juul?
I
the thing?
used to.
Yeah.
I used to vape. I just do Zim pouches right now, and every now and then I'll roll spliffs.
Oh yeah.
So
Nice.
like I have like an old pack of American Spirits that I don't smoke, but I will. I will take like some
time to
tobacco
time.
from it.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys this? So this has been like a little like thing in my head, and I can't tell whether or not it is or it isn't. Do you think that blunts are considered like just smoking nicotine? Like if you were like taking a break on like smoking cigarettes or like smoking nicotine usually, and like you've been like clean from tobacco for like years, but then like somebody hands you like a blunt, would you be like, that's like smoking a cigarette, or like that's like
So
smoking
you
a
get the
nicotine?
same buzz from
Yeah.
smoking a cigarette. From me not smoking cigarettes and I smoke a blunt, I get the tobacco buzz on top of it. So there is that. So if you're a non-tobacco user, you'll definitely feel it.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
See,
yeah.
as like someone who like vaped and like I'm not the Zen stuff now too, but it was like
I
I never
like
from a blunt I
those.
never personally felt the like tobacco. Like, it like when someone told me, I didn't even like what the fuck did I know? When I was like 17, I was like, what? There's like
So
tobacco in
the
this? Like, this is
papers,
just-
no. So there's like
Yeah.
the blunt papers,
Mhm.
no. But like the guys who like break the fucking
You get
cigar
cut
open
open,
and
yeah.
then break off, then definitely.
Yeah.
Right,
See, I just never, and then again, maybe it was like because I was also getting high, I just wasn't noticing it, but it was never like, I never hit a blunt and I was like, ooh, like nicotine buzz. Like,
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
never, that just never like clicked.
I've definitely been like, I've noticed like, okay, blunt compared to joint, like I'm feeling looser, or like there's some sort of extra benefit that I can tell. But
With the blunt.
with the blunt, and like especially with a backwoods or something that's like really fucking knocking you.
Like a thick thick
Yeah,
leaf.
That shit will like, I will notice like, holy fuck, like I'm getting a buzz from that. But like Man, it sucks to think that like somebody who's like taking a break can't be like that doesn't count. But it is totally like a fucking thing. But I don't know. I guess there may be a gray area there.
See, I never got the nicotine buzz from a blunt, but I did during like COVID quarantine. My cousin, we took a lot of chops.
Yeah,
out of this bong. Like I used to make bongs in college. That was like I would make them out of liquor bottles and like I had like a cutter and we had like a Jack Daniels bottle and we would take chops out of it.
That's hard.
And it was like I could feel my brain cells dying.
What's a chop?
It's like
you just it's like you pack a bong with like just loose tobacco and then a little bit of weed on top.
Oh.
So that you do like a third. So if you want to smoke a bowl, like you break it up into like 2 or 3 little chunks and you just get like 2 or 3 nice little nicotine buzzes. But it's also like
through the bong, especially.
Yeah, it's very much like.
So I did something like that when I was in high school. I did we called them pops, and I don't know what the fuck.
Maybe a regional thing.
It may have been a regional thing. It may have just been like a my circle kind of thing. Like somebody heard it from like one person outside of it or something. But it was like a gravity bong.
Okay.
With like a little like half and half weed tobacco, and then you'd hit it. And you'd like get so lightheaded.
Oh yeah, there's like a good like 10 seconds
back.
after one of those where you're like, I might go ass over tea kettle right now.
Yeah,
this is great, but I'm unsteady.
It's so like, what the hell are we doing? It's like that's way too strong.
Yeah. That was gravity bomb pieces. A buddy of mine like. We used to we'd do like a milk jug and then like a Dasani bottle, but then like for the cap, we would get like I don't know what you used. We used like an adjustable wrench.
Okay.
Like those little
like a
socket wrench.
Socket.
Yes, we'd use a socket wrench piece.
Too,
and then a buddy of mine would always lose them, and then I'd be like, "You need to get us more." And it's like, "Or just drive me to AutoZone." And then he'd go to AutoZone and he'd just like steal 3 of them and walk out.
That
of AutoZone.
is hilarious.
I was like, "Dude, you're gonna fucking get us arrested for stealing like $6 worth of."
Well, it's like for me at least, like when I was doing those, like I didn't smoke cigarettes. Like I didn't hit vapes or smoke cigarettes. So like for me, I was like. There's a point where I'm like, God, I need a pop right now. It was just like the tobacco. Like it was the only time I'd ever felt like the urge to like want to smoke something like that. You know? But like,
and if you're smoking like a third of a cigarette, one breath, like obviously that's going to be strong and highly addictive.
yeah, exactly. So me and like another one of my friends was also like. Yeah, actually, I'm feeling the same way. We both were like the people who weren't able to like buy cigarettes and stuff. I honestly never even started smoking that, but like.
When did they change it from 18 to 21? Because that was like right around when we would have been.
80s, I think, mid 80s, late 80s.
For cigarettes?
No, because I was.
Oh.
It was 18.
I was 18 buying cigarettes in like 2012.
Yeah. It was around like 29. It was the whole vape thing. It was like all nicotine. You have to be 21.
It's 21 now?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
They
Which
must
is crazy.
have just changed that recently.
That was like, it was like 2020, 2021. It was like none of us would know it, but it was like right below. I think there was like a brief period where I was like, oh, like I could buy cigs, and then like there was like a 6-month period before I turned 21 where I wasn't allowed to buy cigs again, and I had to wait to turn 21. It was like kind of weird.
That is so weird.
It was so bizarre, but it's like because the vape thing is such a like with schools and like nicotine is such a problem.
You're
Like
my
it's so
lungs,
easy to.
Yeah, my lungs are already fucked up.
Right, dude.
There's like it's weird seeing the house like schools. Is my little sister. I have a little brother and a little sister, and they're both like went to the same high school and stuff, and they had like installed like vape detectors in all the bathrooms, and then like they don't work obviously. So like there'd be a whole bunch of videos of like my brother and his like shithead friends like hitting the vape and like blowing it right at the vape detector, and nothing happens.
Oh,
So they put these in every bathroom in the building.
Oh wow, look at them. They're just working hard out there,
like,
dude.
Yeah, humid air.
Dude, our tax dollars are working fucking hard, dude.
Yeah.
God.
So
Lovely
so
government.
would you say pops is what you called those?
We called them pops.
So I had asked you before the quarter of a Xanax bar. Do you guys have any of y'all ever heard a word for that? Because a buddy of mine told me a word for that once. He was like, "It's a thing." I was like, "It's definitely not a thing." And now I like to ask people, do you have any words for that at all?
I've only done it like once or twice. So I
Okay.
definitely don't
Have you
know.
ever? Yeah. A buddy of mine he would like he'd like take like a full one a night sometimes, but he'd cut them up during the day. He'd take one in the morning just according to be like, I'm taking a queeb today. I'm like, a queeb? I'm like, what are you talking about? That's the dumbest shit ever. He's like, it's a quarter of a bar. I'm like, that's not a thing. He's like, a queeb is definitely a thing. A daytime queeb. I was like, you're out of your mind. Like, what do you mean? I've never heard the term anywhere else.
A Xanax bar?
Yeah. Like they break into the 4 little sections. He would take one of them.
It's a queeb.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, queeb day. He's like, little queeb Sunday. I'm gonna go for a walk. I was like,
queeb. I like it. I
was like, damn it, if it's not fun to say, but I think you made that up for sure.
No.
He's trying to start something. We get it.
It's the name of my next band, Queeb.
Queeb.
Little Sunday queeb. Oh fuck.
So, what was your worst psychedelic trip?
My worst psychedelic trip?
Sure.
So, okay, it's hard to choose, right? Because some of them are, like, bad, but also not, like, horrible, you know? I've never, like, had a fucked up, like, experience where I, like, fucking broke something or something. But, like, I have definitely, like, been at a festival, like, super fucked up and, like, by myself, you know? There's been some of that. I've, like, there's a time where, like, somebody, like, offered me a drop of acid, and that was definitely, like, the hardest I've ever tripped, but,
Like the liquid stuff?
Yeah. I just remember, like, leaving, like, the show really early at that point, but I remember, like, walking around for, like, a while, and then being like, my name is Oliver, I'm at this place, I gotta go home, and I was like, hey, Nelson, I'm leaving.
Yeah, they go.
So I remember doing that, but, like, there's one point where I was at a Bonnaroo, and I had, like, a really fucking weird-ass time there. I guess I just had, like, an extra, like, I had, like, more stuff than I'd ever had on myself. Like, I had, like...
Drug-wise?
Yeah, drug-wise, and, like, I had, like, coke, ketamine, mushrooms, and maybe acid, but, like, I wasn't taking acid that night. I know I was on mushrooms.
Little Bonnaroo special?
Yeah. I remember, like, hanging out with one of my friends, and we split, like, a little baggie of mushrooms, and, like, we just, like, took them, went into the show, and we were at, like, a house show, getting down. I remember not being into house at the time, but I was like, this is a vibe. Like, then I got some, like, mac and cheese with brisket in it, and, like, didn't eat it at all.
What,
Because I was so fucking high.
Just appreciated it from afar.
I was like, I can't eat this right now. I can't, like, I don't know what to do with this. And I was like, maybe I took, like, a bite or two, but I was like,
Too much mac and cheese.
I would be so sad.
I was pretty
cheese
fucked up
and
about it.
brisket.
Yeah.
Sounds real fucking good.
Are you kidding me? Good. Yeah, I was just, like, fucked up at the time. But I remember, like going to see Mac DeMarco, and then, like I don't know how to explain it, just, like, everything started happening, like, in frames, you know, and I'm, like, kind of, like, really dizzy, and, like, it's, like, a thick crowd, and I'm, like, seeing Mac DeMarco be silly, and, like, I'm, like, what the fuck is happening? And I don't know if the show ended, or if I just got out of there, but I just was, like, walking around, kind of, like, fuck, I'm bored, or, like, no, like, I'm high, and I'm kind of, like, fucked up about what's happening right now, and I don't know where I am, or, like, I don't know where I'm, like, supposed to be right now, kind of thing. And, like, I was, like, trying to find people at a show, and I couldn't find them, and I was like, fuck, I can't find anybody, I'm scared. And I was, like, just sad and, like, crying, and I was, like, I walked out of the show.
That was intense.
I know, I walked out of the
concert, Bubba.
I'm, like, giving myself a lot of pressure, man. I'm on a lot of mushrooms and a lot of ketamine, I guess.
Fucked up, dog.
And I was, like, I was trying to, like, even myself out, like, with, like, coke and ketamine. And so, like, it'd be, like, points where I'm, like, kind of dizzy, but also, like, you know, like, I need to
Just biting your upper lip, running around.
I, like, dizzily, like, walked around until I was like, all right, I got to get the fuck out of here. And I walked out of the fest, and I walked to this, like, weird place where they had, like, video games. It was, like almost, like, an hour away from the fucking grounds, or, like, maybe, like, 30 minutes away. And it was in the woods, if you guys know where that is. And they had, like, like like arcade sets like set up all over the place.
Oh, wow.
And so like I just like found a game that I really liked and I played it until I got the high score, and then I ran and went and saw fish.
Nice, dude.
I was like, I'm fucking having a good time.
I got the high score.
yeah. So that was probably like the most eventful trip I've had.
Damn. What's the fish thing with the dress?
I don't know. Is there like a? I'm not like.
I'm assuming you meant Fish PH, the band. You went to go see them perform, not go
I
see
went to
Koi
go
Fish?
see Fish the band.
Okay.
I am not like invested in them like I seem like I could be.
It's an acquired taste.
Okay, yeah.
I
couldn't get into
appreciate it. I appreciate the vibe. I'm just not like.
There's some like pattern because I have like an uncle that's super into.
Is it like the circles?
The blue with the red circles?
Yeah,
it's like their thing.
I guess that's like an album or something.
It's like so I think it's something like, I don't know if it was like during a concert, like someone threw that dress onto the stage.
Okay.
And then like at the drummer. And then like I don't know if it's the same one or like a replica, but like he like always wears like a T-shirt with that pattern on it, or like he wore the dress for like the rest of that tour or something.
That's cool.
And then like now it's like a pattern and it's like their thing.
That pattern
like,
is sick as fuck.
It is cool. It's so
Tattooed
simple.
on
It's
their
like, that's a cool
taints,
pattern.
You know?
I fucking
They have
dig
it
it.
tattooed on their taints.
Oh,
know?
big time, yeah.
It's like that. That's how
Little
they
canvas
bonded each
tattoo.
other. They're like, yeah.
You see this, you know.
All right. Well, we've got 2 hours.
All right, dude.
That's
Groovy.
solid.
Yeah, dude. We're a little bit over, I think. So.
Yeah.
I've eaten enough pizza.
Right, dude. You know, so this has been a fun episode. I think we're back, next Saturday? Not this Saturday,
Next
but
Saturday.
Saturday after that.
Yeah. You guys want to
Next
plug
show.
anything you got coming up?
I have nothing.
I
Put me on.
As always, backyard comedy every Thursday at Sonny's in Germantown in Nashville. It's a good time. Comics get in for free. Come hang out. It's always a good show. We got good lineups. Pull up.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
I have yet to have gone, but I know it's a fucking killer ass time.
PB Backyard is good every Thursday. I do have my open mic tomorrow night at 11 Exile. But then I also have a
Friday show.
I have Funny on the Spot, but that is on June 7th at Third Coast Comedy Club, 8 p.m. And then I have a show at Wicked Ollie's. It is over in Donaldson area. That's from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. That one is an interesting lineup that Monty Hicks booked. It's like me and Renard.
Monty Hicks got Renard.
Yeah. It's true. It's an interesting group. So like we'll have fun. I'm excited to see Renard and Monty. You know. Oh, and fucking Monty is gonna. Monty's doing the show on the fucking July 3rd.
Okay.
That's right.
Right.
Our show here.
All right.
yeah,
Well,
that's all I got right
I guess we will be back next Saturday for an evening of comedy where we have a band and a shitload of comedians. And then
what does this spreadsheet say
Who's
about
going to be on that? Are there some chat homies on that show?
probably the band is called Baseball Bat. As far
that?
as
June 8th, Baseball Bat. Cole Harper is a solo artist. We have Marty Bartow, Tony Roney, Nate Jackson, Coco Speaks, Miriam Kirk, Matt Blevins, Patrick Cuddle, Jet Tatum. There you go. Ruben
Well,
Reyes.
no,
I think. Shalita, right?
Yeah, like Marty Bartow, Jet Tatum, Patrick Cuddle,
Shalita, Alex Woody, Kurt Baker. That's everyone we have on that show for the 8th of June.
it's gonna be a good show.
I'm excited for Baseball Bat. They've been played on Lightning 100 on the radio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's also a
That's
fantastic
what I'm saying.
band name, Baseball Bat.
Right, dude.
I don't know
Fantastic
if you
band
guys
name.
could have me on that show, but I'd love to like
Come out.
hang out.
Just
yeah,
come
'cause,
watch,
like
dude.
those are some tight homies of mine. I would love to
Come hang.
You can come out and hang
Yeah.
out. If you want to do a set, we can put you on too. It's not a big deal.
That seems like a huge amount of artists.
There's probably a
So
couple
we'll
that are
see.
gonna cancel, so just if you show up, we'll give you a spot.
I will. I'll show up whether.
Well,
or
you're
not. I
VIP
appreciate you guys.
anyway, so you
Yeah.
can drop. You
That's
have the
right.
right to crash.
That's
Okay,
right.
thank
Yeah,
you.
you
Yeah,
can crash
That's right.
anytime.
You guys are
You
really
are
solid for
VIP.
that.
And on that, from me, Nick, and Henry, and Oliver, we're going to say, fuck you all, good night.
Good night. Woo.
Good night.